You know, because this podcast is hard to listen to, are we the Dark Souls of podcasts?
Oh dear. Never mind. Have Pringles. Chris points out that we're a hard podcast to listen to, and then Matt gets handed the crunchiest food in existence and proceeds to eat them. Oh, listeners. If you quantum listeners that don't exist, I'm sorry.
So do you guys like Vikings?
No,
Not especially, no.
not a fan.
Welcome. That's a very awkward intro. Don't know how I'm going to tie this one around anymore.
Well, it will fit right in with the rest of them, won't it?
Okay, one sec.
No, don't give up.
That's technically a successful.
I have
sort of
final say, and I'm
content.
keeping this in. So
Hey, guys.
shut your nan.
Do you want to see
He's
something?
trying to get rid of the sort of cold open.
Do you want to see
God
something?
forbid.
Do you want to see something?
What?
Viking.
That's not.
That's a.
Oh
fight.
my god, that's the sickest
Welcome.
Viking of it.
Welcome
what
to
an
the
epic Polish Viking. Oh my god.
welcome to the FTR podcast, the podcast where you find out that some people on this podcast are afraid of the open water. Isn't that right, Jack? Open water, and we also
It's behind me. I love it.
have some pots and pans with us.
That's me.
Yes, and today we're combining two very current popular things: Valheim and Robot Wars.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yes. So we've all watched Robot Wars.
Good
I do think it's a bit cheeky
I definitely have, but
that in the last episode somebody came in with a exact replica of an original robot, but they just painted it white. But what am I to say? I don't understand the rules of Robot Wars. I just like seeing the robots fight each other and then talk about the
it was
ship
weird
of Theseus.
because it was fighting its literal mirror image. They just sort of stood there, and then one of them left. I didn't really get it. I wasn't sure. It felt like there was
It
a.
almost like they were having a conversation.
Yeah, it was a sort of dialogue almost, a sort of ideological, mutual kind of
What is it when you
discussion, and then they just.
What is it when you hear
Sorry.
words in like a song made of gibberish or like sounds? Because I think that was what was going on. Because I swear I heard the word "ship of Theseus" muttered numerous times. I just said "beep boop beep boo ship of Theseus, boop boop beep boo boo ship of Theseus, beep 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 boo ship of Theseus." So, currently in Valheim there are 5 bosses. But
Now, Matt hasn't played it, so should we reel off?
what's a
But
Valheim?
basically, it's Valheim is a Vikings, but on Twitch. Essentially.
It's a Minecraft Rust Vikings
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Terraria.
basically.
BD Scandinavia can make a good joke about, but
Good,
Anyway,
because that would be derivative and lazy.
That would be-
Anyway, so basically, the bosses that already exist is essentially imagine the dad of all deer
Yeah.
that shoots lightning out of his antlers. That's the first one.
Isn't that
Then
Aristophanes?
groups,
an awful lot
but
like Mephistopheles.
This version.
yeah, it is. It is. That is literally it. To be fair, then we have Groot, but he was allowed to be old and get tall. It's just tall Groot,
Or a tree,
but he walks and whatnot.
a walking tree. I'm
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Then there is Slimer's obese dad. Is the next one, and then
Mr. Le
yeah,
Slimer.
yeah, but see through and made of gack from the 90s. Then we've got. We get into a point where I don't really know. I've got that far in the game, but as far as I can tell, just a big dragon.
Just big dragon.
just big dragon.
That one's just a big dragon. And then finally, the Bone King. King of all
Yeah.
bones.
The bone.
And
He's a bone
I
king.
think we can all agree those are quite derivative bosses.
I don't know. Mephistopheles is pretty cool.
It's 5 fantasy
like
creatures,
Mephistopheles.
and I think I've played Dark Souls, I've played Demon Souls, I've played the other ones. I'm done with fantasy bosses in fantasy games. Let's add,
Beyond Two Souls.
yeah. I've played Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm sick of fantasy with no
Don't have souls
sci-fi
in it,
being.
Chris, that's a bad. So you didn't do it as well.
What?
Do a souls. Do a souls quick.
A Souls? Hollow Knight.
That's not.
It's the
No,
Dark Souls.
I don't mean a Souls like. No, I don't mean
the Dark
We could go all
Souls.
day if we wanted to do Souls likes, right? There's billions. I mean a
Minecraft.
game with souls in the name.
It's the
That's not.
Dark Souls
you're bad at
of
this.
Sims.
He's just not listening. We're fucking Earth to Chris. We're doing ones with the souls in the name. Elder Souls.
W, the Dark Souls of people.
Why does that feel like it resonates? I hate it. Why? No, now I have to actually introduce I can't tell if that's like a really conceited like compliment or like very derogatory. It's either or.
Cars 2, the Dark Souls of Pixar. You know, we could go on about this all day.
Cars 2. No, I think Cars 3 is the Dark Souls of Pixar, without a doubt.
I don't know. I don't know what the Dark Souls of this would be, but this is a topic for another podcast. Is getting a load of
Yeah, it
topics.
actually is. We need to stop. It's too good.
Somebody pop that onto the list, please.
Yeah, that's going on the fucking list.
But
Absolutely.
Dark Souls. It came out in 2011 and has pervaded popular culture to a degree that anything can be called the Dark
It is
Souls.
games. It is. I played a bit.
Well,
of it.
it's because in
games.
2011 people realised people like games that aren't easy. Who would
Sometimes hard games are proper good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can't say that these days without having to have the discussion about should games be made easy or difficult. But we don't care because we're doing Robot Wars bosses.
We don't care because
Dark Souls is
Tim
over.
Rogers
That's another podcast.
Tim Rogers has done a 3-hour video on it, which is the approximate length of one of these podcast episodes. So just go
We
listen
have
to
nothing
him.
to add to that discussion. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. But yeah, so there are 4 options. We're getting away from fantasy.
There are 4 options, and they must all go in.
It's never been.
New bosses, or are we making them into robots?
We're making new
Don't overthink it, man.
robot.
Just go
bosses.
wherever you want to do.
Yeah. To be fair,
They don't have to be
Has-
robots, but they could just be
to be
robot
fair,
inspired.
we've had discussions before podcasts that I don't know any Pokemon outside Gen 1, so can we limit it to Gen 1 Pokemon? And the one person who disagreed with that sentiment was the one person who actually abided by the rules to begin with. So,
I am the
really,
Dark Souls of people. I don't have to make sense to you. If I don't make sense to you, it's because you're not a real gamer. That's what we can take away from this.
by the time I finish this episode, I'm going to check onto Twitter, and if Jacko W's Twitter description doesn't say I am the Dark Souls of people,
Yeah, okay.
I quit this podcast. This is the final episode. So yeah, so I think we take the best from the Vikings and we turn it sci-fi, just like Warhammer did to the Egyptians and then undid again to the Egyptians again. Because why not, really? They were like, we've made some space robot Egyptians. What should we do for fantasy? And also skeletons. And someone's like, eliminate the word space and robots, and we're done here.
Yeah. You just don't confirm or deny it. All right, you got to leave it ambiguous. They're not space aliens.
Yeah.
or space robots.
So I'm assuming that like the five bosses that are in at the moment are bosses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is the end game.
Which means we've got to do the Thanos of Valheim, which is pretty good.
We've got to do the Dark Souls of Valheim bosses.
I haven't got that far in the game, but Bone King feels like he's the logical baddie of the whole game, because you know what you getting more evil than a Bone King? That's pretty goddamn evil.
A Bone Emperor.
That's not. We can do better.
We can do better. We can do better.
We can do the Robot Emperor as. How about we'll start high and treat it like a shonen. You know, by the end you have to fight God, and that might even be just the 7th boss. So I think we should do. Right, so it's Bone King, Robot Emperor.
Robot Emperor.
It's General Grievous, but he's got a big crown.
So,
it's General Grievous. Okay, I've done it.
General Grievous is not a robot. He's a sentient living carbon-based being.
In this one, he's a robot. Go to bed.
I've got to get some.
I should know. I wrote and directed a sitcom with him in it. I'm officially. I know everything about General Grievous now.
He's a cyborg. He's
4 lightsabers and a fucking gas mask.
Boss, if ever I've heard of one.
Don't remind me of that. We're not doing anything as good as that in this one. So just shut up. Stop thinking. Just get that out of your mind. Okay, right. We've got some lines. Okay, this is cracking. I love it. What? I don't know what I'm looking at here. Is that one of his flanges? He's got flanges.
Or is that his bum?
Oh, maybe he's got a bit of a booty.
I'm really like that's too big for what I want to do.
If you're starting with the side of the man's face, then yeah, that is a bit too big.
Just preserve my previous work.
There's no backsies. We don't go back in this. You're gonna have to draw with a thicker brush. I'm telling you. Draw with the thickness of the numbers. That's a good thickness. That shows up.
Well, we'll eliminate that, and we'll increase the size, and we'll start this all again. So tell me, what does this boss? What is this boss feeling? What's his deal?
I mean, it's just right. So he collects. What's the equivalent of a lightsaber in Valheim?
I don't know. You tell me. You are the Valheim boys.
Mugs. Mugs are important. They have uses.
Perhaps he is the bone china
King. The Emperor of Bone China is that?
yeah.
He's the Chinese Bone Emperor.
You have to go to the tomb of Bone China Emperor. Yeah.
That's not spooky enough. I need some spooky.
I think it is spooky. He's terrifyingly symmetrical. I was about to say something else.
It's like we're looking at his face from one angle, and then
on the other side we're looking at it from a different angle.
I'm an artist.
This is Bone. But no, he can't be called Bone China because we've got Bone King and we can't have Bone China Emperor. That's 2 on the nose.
This is the Porter King.
Oh fuck no, because if we had a Porter King, it would be a porcelain porcupine.
Wow.
That's no. That's okay. We'll do that next.
Shelve that one.
We'll come back to that. That's got mileage, definitely. Okay, I love his eyes. Jesus Christ. I think he should just be a floating Grievous head.
No, I was going to just pop General Grievous.
He has lightsabers for eyes. He's got 4 eyes, and he's got lightsabers for eyes, and they just look around.
I don't know how I'm going to draw that, so I'm just going to do my original plan of just putting General Grievous's head on Sir Killalot's body.
No. We're not just lifting wholesale a whole robot wars.
Equal lightsabers and a wheel.
A single wheel. He's a unicycle.
They get around so fast.
No, now he looks like a fucking chain smoker.
No, that's his vent. That's his
He's
vent
Gaza.
mouth.
It's Gaza Grievous, chain smoker of Valheim. He's got cigarettes in his eyes, cigarettes up his nostrils. Doesn't even really have nostrils, but they're up there.
Why is wheezing in those movies?
Oh, mate, he must have smoked way too. Yeah. No, that sounds about right. What have you put on him? Why does he now look like a dog?
He's a turtle.
it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Grievous. Teenage Mutant Ninja Grievous smokes 40 a day. What? I'm just okay. What? I'm fast. Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's doing the stuff. I mean, whilst I'm drawing
doing
this,
things. Things are really happening here. I mean, so it's yellow. So the thing is, right? So we come up with clever ideas, and Chris just draws a Grievous dog with lines. He's got lines at the front. Watch out for the lines. Is it Spider Grievous? You're gonna have to right. If you're just gonna draw what you want to draw, you have to tell us what it is.
Well,
so
I don't like that. So basically, I was thinking maybe a spider, but I don't think I can. Maybe if we give him windmill wheels, maybe we can do
Windmill?
Watermill.
Yeah.
Do you mean like a watermill?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking
Do
of.
you just mean a big wheel? Like, why do you have to? Why?
A big wooden wheel.
It's just a wheel. We know what wheels are. You don't have to. You don't have to say. You know the circle thing on the side of a water windmill.
So we're gonna pop a little.
One of those, but it's got like a rubber thing on the outside of it. Do you get me?
And then that's going to be dripping.
Why has he got?
How's the water wheel going to turn without water? Jesus,
you've drawn a drippy wooden penis going upwards on the side of General Grievous the spider.
He's gonna have one on the...
No, Chris, we had a solid concept to begin with, and you've made something disastrous.
Chariots of Grievous.
That's Romans, Chris. You've done it wrong.
They were
doing Vikings. They didn't invent wheels.
Well, the Vikings had wheels.
No, they had rudders and oars and sails. They didn't have... Yeah, everything was on water. They didn't do what you can't do a wheel on water. What would that be? A water wheel? That's ridiculous. I've never heard of such a thing. I'm pretty sure that would be a hovercraft. Which, as we know, wasn't invented until the late 1300s. Christ. That's estimates. It's all over the shop. Remove the body. The body is where this. You're trying to attach appendages to a turd, and it's not going well.
Okay.
Floating head Grievous is a good start. We need maybe one simple thing as his means of propulsion. I don't know what it could be. It could be a solar sail. That's a roboty. I don't know.
That's a roboty. Oh, I know what we can do. We can have a little. How do their heads look? 1 second. I need to look. So, where do you think he goes on a Saturday night?
He looks like a mosh guy to me.
And anywhere where it doesn't give away our general.
I was going to say he's certainly not really.
They're around.
He's not a prison boy. He's maybe.
He's mashing coke and biting people on top floor mosh. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which
certainly pop world.
No pop world here. No.
Too edgy for pop world.
Yeah, no, that's it.
This is
what the fuck are you?
This is like a.
What is this?
Sort of.
Can you figure out what he's drawing? It's. Is
he drawing a hammer and sickle?
No, I'm drawing
the B1 battle droid.
And he's carrying the head. He's carrying the head.
He is the robot. He's the emperor of the robots, and yeah, it's just droids. It's just droids.
And he is just carried by all of his minions.
But he is deadly. He is absolutely deadly. The head itself is deadly.
Him at 10% of his true power.
He's like Exodia. If you reunite all the bits, he does
Yeah.
suddenly become quite terrifying. But the bits that's it. That's so in Valheim you have to like usually there's a bit of a sort of mild puzzle thing of like you have to figure out what item summons the boss.
Yeah.
So with this one, you don't have to summon the boss. You just have to put them together, and then you fight him.
Oh, we don't want that. We don't want that.
You got to seal up your holes, Chris,
Someone's
before you
got
try and
closed
fill
his
in.
lines.
Close the lines, man. So we got
There's more holes.
This
You've got-
plebeian
There's too many holes.
man buys a £300 drawer pad and can't close his.
Where's
lines.
the fucking hole?
Well, which bit
on
you
the
try
left.
to fill in because it's gonna be that bit.
The sort of thing I can't help you with because if you can't help you, then it's like what are we doing here? I don't. So, Chris, I've been looking at I've been trying to make sense of the stink lines. Is that just his voice? What is that? What are
So
we doing it?
It does look a bit like a musical stage, as if he's singing to you.
yeah, he's
He's a bard.
he's a bard.
He sings the song
Well-
of his people, and it rallies all of his droids to like a frenzy.
But if you look at the if you look at the
Fuck me, Dad.
if you look at actual General Grievous, he has got vents for a mouth, so it's just
No, I know he's got vent. No, he took 9 minutes explaining himself, but he didn't fucking explain himself. Oh my
It's
god.
like the wrong bit of his drawing.
No, I mean the stink
Well,
lines, the big black lines.
yeah,
coming
it's-
out of him.
I wanted to make people, like, as an artistic depiction, really understand that that's a ventilation shaft. So that's the air cooling the room.
I see. The
Those are
black
air
lines.
lines.
The black lines are the air lines coming out of his mouth.
Yeah,
He's got air lines.
yeah.
So he does.
Tanner and Egypt and Ryan.
Shut up. Fuck off.
Mhm.
Don't remind me that planes and holidays are a potential. Fucking hell, man.
Come in. They're round the corner.
They aren't. I watched an Economics Explained video about how airline prices are going to be absolutely
They are going to be
busted.
extortionate.
Yep, it's dreadful. Turns out, I'm gonna yoink his content and summarize it. Basically, because business people have figured out that they can just use Zoom calls instead of ridiculously expensive fucking airline tickets. They're just like, oh shit, we're not gonna go and do airplanes anymore. We're just gonna Skype call our
Meet
friends.
in person.
Who knew? And so now the most lucrative part of airlines is gone. So they're gonna have to
So
up the
bugs.
economy class prices. Right, Grievous Man. What's he says?
what's he
Because
says?
he clearly the says is an important component of this particular depiction. So what's the says?
Light saber. Sabs. Light sabs.
Give me more light sabs. What? So it's light sabs there now?
There's an exclamation mark, I think.
Oh,
And it isn't.
there we go.
Light sabs. He's blushing now. Oh
Yeah,
dear.
because he's thinking about light saps.
With just 6 tiny lines, you have radically changed the theme of this image.
It's quite impressive how like the brain interprets things like that. Like you can do the minute difference. And suddenly, the entire image has changed.
And now now that you've given him the blush thing, the split eyes looks very like, you know. He likes lightsabers a bit too much, doesn't he?
Like,
You know, if he had a tongue, it would be out. That's all I'm saying. So General Grievous is now like he's verging on e-girl. He's towing the line.
it's certainly original.
No, No, it isn't. We made General Grievous an e-girl. That's not original. Fucking no, he's not. He's not filming for his OnlyFans, is he? Don't you start. What happened? This was meant to be Robot Wars meets Valheim. I don't care. I don't care that it isn't. I don't care that it isn't because we've departed. Evidently, I'm now realising I'm on the train.
We immediately avoid the thing we're meant
It's
to
like
do.
this is what we're gonna do. We just, but also, what about this way? What does that say?
1,000 bits.
So he doesn't so much kill the Vikings as just like he makes them become his simps.
His droid
Carry
simps.
his parts around.
His droid
The
simps.
droids are just simp Vikings he's defeated before. So does he have arms and a body? Are we doing that, or is it
He's
just
got his
a head
simps.
now?
Who needs arms when you've got simps?
I was thinking like what if he's just the head and you have to kill the whole swarm?
Yeah.
But whilst the head's there, the swarm is like super powerful, very fast, and they keep coming. They just keep coming at you, and you have to kill all of them, or like you have to specifically kill the head thing, and it keeps jumping to different ones.
Yeah.
And it's just Botty Grievous and his army of simps.
Botty Grievous.
Bloody grief.
They're remarkably similar concepts when you really think about it. They're remarkably similar. You've got a skeleton lord, and then you've got droids, which are just skeletal robots.
Yeah.
And oh dear.
Yeah, it's very
What
cool.
is? How do we top this?
So whilst you're thinking, got all of his...
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. And
Because when you defeat a boss, you tend to get an item to like
oh yeah, that's
to
good.
continue
Yeah, what should be the
forward.
item for?
So I'm just making
for-
some grapes.
Surely it's either like lightsabers
or his head.
or is it just as a helmet, and then you can assume the life of Thoticus and take
Maybe. Maybe to fight the next boss, you must become an associate partner on Twitch.
You have to partner with Twitch before
That's a
you
part.
take
I'm with the boss. Wow, he's got grapes. Or it could be olives, just because olives were the backbone of the Roman and Greek economy.
And Emperor. Sorry, we keep calling him Emperor. But it's
Eagle
General.
Grievous.
It's Emperor Eagle. Emperor E Grievous.
Emperor E General Grievous.
No, that doesn't.
He's.
Emperor. No.
I don't know whether this is an appropriate. I don't know whether this is an objectifying statement for General Grievous, but he is the Dark Souls of ethos.
I was thinking when you first drew him, I was like, he's kind of the Dark Souls of Star Wars, but we've done that joke. I don't want to do it again. No, you're right.
Yeah. So I've done General Grievous .onlyfans.
We don't really have the name yet, but
It'll
I don't know.
come.
I trust
We'll
the
do
boys,
the names.
The boys
at the
over
end.
at Coffee Stain Productions or whatever it's called.
They're called.
They're pretty good with their names. So number 2, we've got an emperor. What's bigger than an emperor?
A planet, if we're talking size-wise. Planets tend to
Valheim.
be big. Valheim.
You are the Valheim of. You are.
You have to fight Valheim.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I just need to.
Get ahead of ourselves. These are some strong ass Vikings if they can fight Valheim.
Well, there was a gap there. I see. Well,
Dear.
that's because there's a little.
This is hideous.
He's learning.
It's getting there. No, to be fair, I like the first one. Why Why are you doing it?
Now, what you're realizing is that you've drawn the 2 in black.
No, I
So it's
didn't. I
gonna
drew it
blend
in.
into
I
the black.
drew. I drew
Or
it in
a
grey.
slightly lighter black than the
Look,
black you've just used.
look. I already thought about this and just thought the best thing to do is just redo the 2.
No, Matt. I'm way ahead of you.
I'm way ahead of you.
I've thought about this. I'm ahead of
You're playing Animal Crossing whilst I'm playing Dark
I
Souls.
think you understand.
There you go.
He's doing art souls.
It's art songs. There you go.
I'm waiting to see it. I don't know what more I was expecting.
So this is Valheim, right? This is.
But
that's
it's
what the
but
game's like.
okay. If Valheim was a Robot Wars, which one would it be? Right?
Yeah.
Now don't just me.
I'm focusing on the
give me-
drawing.
I'm asking you a goddamn question. Alright, Matt, it's just you and me. Just you and me and fucking art attack over it.
Reinhardt. I can
It
do
would be
Reinhardt. I'm
It's
just.
got a rectangle and Thor's hammer. And it's German. Because fuck you.
Because that's where all.
That's where the Vikings come from. That's right. I'm right. I'm right. We're right. We're correct.
Not a million miles.
That's racist. England's not a million miles off by that logic.
Most of the planet isn't. In fact, the whole of the planet isn't a million miles off.
Hit me. Right, it's
So we're doing an Overwatch. Let's have a look at the Overwatch.
Valheim.
Yeah,
Valheim.
The rapper.
Reinhardt isn't really a robot, though, is he?
You say Valheim.
Valheim. Why would it be rhyme? No,
No, I
fuck
heard
it. No,
right.
Matt. It's now Parappa the Rapper, the Valheim. I don't know anything about Parappa the Rapper, but you've made this
He's a
happen.
rapping dog with an.
As per, I have a good idea. You say it wrong somehow, and it is a worse idea. But we have to. Yes and no. Yes and no undos. It's Val.
Okay, how do we get back to Valheim from? With just
Chris, you're the executive decision now.
Wow.
What would you rather draw?
Because this podcast is hard to listen to, are we the Dark Souls of podcasts?
Oh dear. Never mind. Have Pringles. Chris points out that we're a hard podcast to listen to, and then Matt gets handed the crunchiest food in existence and proceeds to eat them. Oh, listeners! If you quantum listeners that don't exist, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, I can't hear a crunch. I can't hear a crunch.
I heard the
but maybe
beginnings of a munch.
he does want to munch. Now, Chris, take me through this. Whilst Matt's out in the munch zone.
Out in the munch zone.
Oh, it's Zenyatta. I see.
Yeah, there we go. I knew your Overwatch boy.
Can you explain
Why?
I mean, Zenyatta's so goddamn easy to draw. God. Zenyatta just so is he just like his own mega orb that he can fire at you?
Well, no, he's the world of Valheim because at this point you're on the tree, I guess. Also, it does look a lot like a beard. His golden chin, doesn't it?
It makes him more Viking actually. Keep the lovely blonde beard.
Yeah. I think it maybe. Yeah.
Now, age-old question: has he got 9 eyes and a strange facial hair, or has he got 2 eyes and some warts?
Eye lookies, nose holes, mouth.
So you're adamant that it's 9 eyes, 2 nostrils on a robot.
Okay.
Oh, Matt, I love it. I'm just watching you on the live on the podcast, just crunching away, looking at Reddit like a fucking gremlin. Just no remorse, nothing at all. Chris is doodling wiggly lines on Zenyatta's face, but it's a fried egg for some reason.
This is
What?
what do you expect?
Yeah.
It's
No, I know. It's my fault. I know that. Is this? Are you doing C? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I need to draw the world that they've explored thus far.
I mean, it is Valheim. No. I think that because it's Zenyatta's face, there's 9 tiny little C's that aren't connected to each other.
No, we haven't explored that area yet. So you know when you go onto the map,
it's Zenyatta until you reveal it.
you go out and you're like, this wasn't a map. Actually, all of that smoke was Zenyatta.
Oh my god! Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so how do you fight him?
You have to.
How doesn't he win? Yeah, how doesn't he win? I don't get it.
You have to use arrows.
How do you fight him? Arrows.
Arrows. You're on the tree, so I'll draw the tree.
arrows beat the planet. It's classic.
That's simple.
It's arrows.
I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. But arrows, man. Wait, shit. Does he? No, he doesn't win with
No,
the
it's
arrows.
a bomb. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. There is arrows. There is an arrow. But it's not.
Well,
It's somewhere else.
if there were arrows, it would have been a lot easier because there would have been arrow pointing to the button he should have pressed, not one that he shouldn't have pressed.
Yeah. So really, if you think about it, Rocket Raccoon should invest in a Sharpie.
Yeah. Right, red sharpie, and he'd be all good.
Maybe they don't have Sharpies
Although
in space.
actually, I think that would cause Groot to be a bit afraid of the red one, and he'd pick the less red one.
Maybe. Then do
You never know.
green?
Yeah.
No, green arrows. Maybe. Go there. That button.
How do we beat the planet?
Arrow.
It's not a planet. It's not a planet.
When
Crucial. It's not a planet.
when
It's a disc.
When you go through
It's a
Valheim,
flat
you know,
Earth.
you go from wood arrows, then you get flint arrows, then you get fire arrows, then bronze arrows, and I guess you go through all the metals, and then you get planet arrows, and the planet arrows deal enough damage.
But what's a planet arrow made of?
Skyward.
Skyward. I get it. And so when you kill Valheim, now that it's Zenyatta, it's not Valheim. It's
And he fires at you with his big glowy orbs.
Monkheim.
And you've got a
Valheim the Ascended. There's no there. This is the first time I've tried to mash 2 words together and I haven't got it.
I feel powerless.
I'm done. Yeah, I don't. It's Valheim.
It's high Zenyatta.
That's it.
I'm here.
Valheim, my name's Zenyatta, and I'm a planet disc.
I'm the planet.
Have some here. Taste the moons.
I've always
Taste them. Oh, more Pringles. I love that.
Me too.
That fucking that ASMR cast of just closing and opening a Pringles tube. Coincidentally, not only the loudest snack, the loudest container of a snack. It's incredible.
When you pop, you just can't stop. Someone will love it. Someone out there. will love it.
So now what we're saying is that our fans that don't exist and won't exist have to also be ASMR
That's a
fans.
negative. That's a negative attitude. Can and won't.
This is potentially only a one-time thing.
We're getting good comments. Let us know in the comments. Did you like the Pringles?
You like more?
Okay, fuck it. No, fuck it. We're doing Munch Squad now. Review the Pringles. Are they good Pringles? Tell me what flavour of the Pringles. Tell me what you think of the Pringles.
To be fair, one of my
Give me it
favorite
all.
YouTubers were discussing. They're doing a review for episode 9 of WandaVision. They're like, you know, what would really piss people off if we put Doctor Strange in our thumbnail and put a red circle around him with an arrow, and then you go to the thumbnail and it's just him with it, and it's Doctor Strange confirmed. every single video they do nowadays is just like, what are we going to do every single review they put John Krasinski in the thumbnail. Just like, oh, I love it. Yeah, so...
What's that have to do with anything, Chris?
What am I doing? I'm just filling...
No.
This is going to be crazy.
That's not what I asked.
This is crazy,
that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked, Chris.
This entire thing we're doing,
I really want you to focus in.
Is about
I really want you to focus into me, Chris.
We're talking, and the entire thing is that we talk for 2 to 3 hours.
I want you to really focus in. I want you to channel your key and listen.
Yeah.
Why were you talking about Mr. Sunday?
Why was I talking? Because on a podcast you tend to talk about things. And so whilst I was finishing off the debuff around the side of Zenyatta, and one third of the podcast is busy eating Pringles, I thought, why don't we jump in
Pringle
here?
Boy.
He wasn't responding.
Interviewing Pringle Boy.
His response
Go back to fucking drawing, Mr. Art Attack.
I'm done.
Do it. No, do more. Add, embellish, continue. Put a kill feed in there. I want it to be detailed. Anyway, Matt, explain to me everything about these Pringles.
They're paprika.
That's low-key the best ones. I think paprika is the best Pringles.
Paprika is one.
Peri-peri chicken is tied with peri-peri chicken.
I mean, most
I love them
people
both.
think myself. I'm not interesting. I'm a sheep. Do enjoy this barbecue. You can't really go.
I'm sick of it. I ate them every weekend. Nah. Peri-peri chicken.
I agree with him. I agree with him. I like the barbecue ones. And do you want to know why everyone else likes the barbecue ones? Because they're the best ones. That's simply why that's the case.
No. People think they're the best ones, but they've read one BuzzFeed article and haven't put any thought
into
it.
Happened?
It's not my fault.
What happened?
They're the best, easily accessible ones.
Yeah.
Just get the peri-peri ones.
I still disagree.
Yeah.
Sour cream and chive is hands down better.
I think what's happened is he has gone through the typical thing of, this is popular, therefore I'm going to be a contrarian because it will make me look popular. Yeah. Hipster.
You can't just call it hipster. Having a beard isn't hipster.
He's gonna go next.
Chris is trying.
He's gonna go next door and he's gonna have his Star Wars Watto thing and his Danny DeVito in the corner. And it's gonna be, hey guys, I'm Moist Critical. I mean Jacko W here. Have you seen what the video game industry's doing at the moment? It's terrible. I love Moist Critical, but.
You're more of a Moist Critical than I am.
Am I?
You arguably look more like him than I do. Because you've got the black hair and slightly less continuous beard.
Yeah.
That's because what he is all about.
That's because I can't grow a beard.
Also, you've got the gamer chair, okay?
I have got the gamer chair.
So shut up.
So ignore me with my gamer chair. I think when we move, I'll get you a gamer chair and you can be Mr. Moist Critical.
Well, I don't need to.
Rebranding the channel. Rebranding Moist Critical UK.
Soggy Critical.
Soggy Critical.
Hey guys, it's me, Soggy Critical. Look at this dreadful YouTuber I found. Wait, I'm reviewing myself. Oh, whoops.
He's bloody awful, he is. I don't know.
Hello everybody, Soggy Critical.
If me and the lads saw him down at the pub, whoa, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Dan agrees with me. I love Dan. Sometimes he gives me a free pack of chippies when I'm there till closing time. It's Zenyatta's world.
So, Dark Spring Pringles are pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Oh no, the rice fusions. The rice fusions is a separate conversation. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's the issue is that they'll just be like, hey, you know, rice fusions. You're like, oh, I really like them. Just like, yeah, well, we're gonna stop selling them for 2 months and then restock. So you just wait on that one. You little. It annoyed me to no end. It would be behind our two houses, because we lived nearby each other. There were two corner shops, and only one of them would ever have the rice fusions at one time. So you go into one and you'd be like, is it worth walking down to the other one because it's down the road? No,
I always
such
walk
an
down to the other one.
effort. You
I
are.
can't think of a single time. It's the only times that I ever went to one or the other. I went with laser focus for a specific item. Almost because it was an event. I live a boring life now. I lived a slightly less boring life, but it was still quite boring. It was just you'd grab Anne, the housemate, and you'd fuck off to one, you'd fuck off to the other, you'd do a lap, you'd come back, you'd sit down, you'd plug on Overwatch League or some nonsense, and then
What
forget
happens
that everything is
you
forget that you're real.
You invite over your friend, and you pick someone else up, and you go to them. I'm going to come back by the time Overwatch League starts, and you're gonna leave him there for 2 hours until he's worried about where you've been, and you've been to one of the corner shops.
I've been in one very small shop. For an indeterminate, I fugue stated in there. There were two of us mutually fugue stated.
You were in there.
I remember coming back and being like, "That's a pretty moon, isn't it?" We must have been standing looking at the moon for a good half hour.
It was the
Disgrace.
lasagna ready meal, or the eggs and sausages ready.
There's no to both, but we'll continue deliberating.
We'll stand here for a good 10 minutes. Decide.
Let's fuck up.
No.
Oh my god.
We'll actually just go and get something else. We'll go and get.
I'm pretty sure we must have done a lap of a couple of takeaways, right?
Well, I don't
We had
think we
to.
get any takeaway that night.
I think we did. I waited
If
until
you
you
don't
got
remember,
back.
I have.
I waited until you
inkling.
got back, and then we all.
I think
It's
we
like-
may have
it's
got
like the
some
one time-
food from
I remember the one
and then
time
also
where
ordered a takeaway.
I remember the one time your girlfriend took your housemates and me out, and she was like, "I want pizza." She went to, and I didn't want pizza, and we went to every single pizza place down that street, and we didn't end up getting pizza. We got oodles.
There's a lot of shit pizzas in that zone,
Just,
and a couple of them are. All of them are shit. What
we
am I talking
didn't.
about?
We didn't need to look
What's
through
the
them all.
places to go?
We
If you weren't
didn't
going to
need-
one of if you weren't going into the supermarket or the corner shop, you were going to the Chinese takeaway at the end of the road, or you would go to the Indian.
I don't know why
You were going to
we're
the
not. I don't.
dessert place. There were three takeaways.
You were a dessert normie. I was never
I
into
never
that.
went.
was never on that
I
vibe.
tried both the.
Someone got you one of those cakes for your
Oh,
birthday, and you completely
I'm-
forgot about it.
I fucking melted. No, I do remember it.
I had.
Sort
Because
of.
when we were
I loved it
talking
very
about
much.
the other day, you didn't even remember that shop existed.
No, I didn't remember the shop existed, but I remember getting a. No,
I
because
tried-
no, I do. I had to have remembered that shop existed because I remember getting a cake there. For someone else.
I tried both the fish and chippies back there. You know, the two with the identical names that were on opposite sides of the corner.
Guys, we
Both
can name
were-
every single shop. We can name
both were
every single shop
terrible.
on that street.
Both
No
were-
one would ever be able to find which
I
street
don't-
it was.
I don't remember what
Do you
it
know
was
how
called.
derivative the names are?
don't remember
Like,
the-
oh, it's look, it's El Pape's Pizza Joint. Oh, look, it's Chinese McNumber Chinese.
it was-
like it's all fine.
It was like not this particular name, but it was like John's Fish and Chip Shop, and then on the corner, like you'd walk over the street, and on the opposite corner, like you can see them both going down. John's
Fish and Chip
no,
Shop.
it's John. It's not a different. It's the same name.
It was also John's. He
but-
owned two fish and chip shops
but-
on the same road.
But they have
sold different things.
they had some overlap on the menu, but not full overlap on the menu.
Not enough.
One was significantly bigger than the other. Like one of them had a sit down, whereas the other one was traditional chippy, and both were terrible for different reasons. So I think a dad had two sons, and John's the last name, and they were working together, but then they had a falling out, and they both got fish and chip shops, and it just so happens that they're opposite each
They had
other.
they had a fish war.
They're having a fish
Maybe.
war. They must be, because they were like, because one of them in the big one, they asked me if I'd been to the other one, and I was like, no, because I don't want to say I have.
Fucking
Be
brandishing
bar-
the fillet knife.
I couldn't say yes, because I was like, if they don't get on, I'm not going to be able to compare the fish and chips.
I need to know if the chips here are
Which
better or
really,
worse.
my thesis after going through all of the chippies was that all of the chippies in that city were shite.
They were poor.
They were poor. They were
man,
I
poor.
only ever had them sad, like
It's-
through else
I
losing
tried.
money
I
to chips.
I really tried. I tried.
I remember them being good.
I tried so many because
it's
I come
not
from
near the
somewhere
sea.
with amazing fish and chips, and I'm not too close to the ocean, and none of them are anywhere close. Whenever I got a craving, I just sit there and be like, "There's no way to fulfill my cravings."
Look, man, it's just not that type of. It's just not that type of zone.
No.
And moreover,
Particularly
chippy. It's not a chippy area.
To be fair,
Yeah,
we
no.
we have poor kebabs where I am, so
Right, there you
like
go.
my discovery of good kebabs did happen
Oh,
via
they
via
do
ex-
kebabs good there.
via
They do
ex-
kebabs.
by
They do some
via
fucking
extension of the fact
kebabs.
there were no good fish and chip shops got me to try a doner kebab again, and I was like, this is way better. And I came back and was like,
Yeah.
oh, I must try one local because evidently it's just me as a kid and I had one. It's like, nope, it's just that they're terrible here.
They're just bad here. I mean, hey,
It's
kebabs
bad
are fucking
here.
sick. You want to pay £3 for like a foot of just mass? Just you will shit this much. This is how look.
Yeah.
This will come out of you. Are you good with that?
could be stored and it won't
You will-
change size.
You will feel like you've eaten like solid lead bricks.
Yeah.
You'll just feel
I just
heavier.
have the fact
Do
you
you
had
want
the
to feel full in 2 mouthfuls?
you had
You have them for you.
Do you want to buy 6 mouthfuls of a thing? You can
Yeah.
only take 2 mouthfuls.
You're
You ain't fucking guessed, you crazy cunt.
your takeaway options were: do you want to go to the good Chinese or Indian? Do you want a traditional Chinese or Indian? In which case, you will not remember the good one when you go on to Just Eat, so you will just have to throw a dart at a board. In that case, you cannot have fish and
I
chips.
think this one sounds right. I don't know.
We can go get a good expensive pizza, aka shall we get a Domino's, which in my world is not a good pizza place. Or do you do you just want to revert to being a degenerate and get 3 pizzas for £10?
They were literally considering the price difference, which I can't be asked to figure out, but it's like 200% cheaper somehow.
No.
It's like literally
The
200%
Domino's
cheaper
pizzas
for
were
the
like
surface area of pizza you're getting.
£10. I
And they were
think
the
it's
same
fucked.
size as one large. If
Which is like, yeah, like fucking £18.
normally the Domino's you'd spend like £20 because it'd be like, oh, if you want the pizza cheap, you have to go get the chicken bites and a side and a
you have to
drink. You have to
Fucking
get,
play the deals game.
or you can
And
get
you always
6
spend more than you
pizzas.
do. I always spend at least
Yeah, it's almost as if
£5
they've made it confusing to just fuck about with you.
Or
The only way
or
can
you
get
went
what
on to
want by spending more than you want.
or you went on to Just
The only
Eat.
way.
Or you went for the most degenerate option and be like, I'm gonna go to the place that does lasagna, spaghetti bolognese,
And order it.
and order
All of it, lasagna, spaghetti bolognese, and lasagna tells you that the people that run that restaurant can't tell you where Italy is on a fucking map.
Let us not forget that this man also or two on his birthday
I'm hungry. I need
I'm
a lot
hungry.
of pasta.
other than that he could really.
I need cubes. I need lines. I need squares. Give me all the dimensions possible of pasta, please.
As
I'm an animal.
I believe I said, somebody said why, and I said because I have free will.
It's just because I can. Just to flaunt. Just to flaunt to the universe that I am allowed to do
We've
this.
had on this podcast that people say that I am a computer brought down, but the fact that I have ordered 2 lasagna spaghetti
it's exactly what an
bolognese
AI would do.
defies any amount of logic a computer could come up with.
No, this is why you're a busted AI. Just like beep, 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 2 lasagna
Busted AI.
pizzas. Fucking eat please now.
This
They just go-
loop of just that makes sense. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Gonna buy it anyway. Fuck you. Oh my god.
I think in order to order more than one of those, Just Eat should make you do a capture. Just to ensure
Because it feels like money laundering at that point, doesn't it? It's literally like, well, no one's buying two. Jesus Christ! Mind
Just
you,
one of them's like,
how much was it? How much was one of them? Because there was a slab of food.
it was.
Yeah, it was a solid.
It was not expensive. If it was, I would.
No, I'm sure. Like four. I wouldn't pay more than £4.
£4.50.
It was nowhere. It was like £2.53, whereas you guys got.
You're fucking
Whereas
fearless.
you
Do you know
guys
that?
at the same place, you guys who get chicken for £5. So I spend the equivalent amount on so many carbs that I
love that you pretend like you're the winner.
it was good. It was good. I can't. If it wasn't good, I ordered it the first time as a joke, and I was disappointed by the fact that I actually genuinely liked it. The first time I had it.
I just can't even believe a team of people all agreed to sell that. We're going to make this every day.
No,
it's going to be on the menu.
It's one guy where it's just like, should we allow Dad to put that on the menu? And his wife just goes,
He thinks it's the future. He's so proud of his invention.
No one's ever going to order it. And then one night, they just go, God, I think there's been a mistake here. What? Somebody's ordered the lasagna spaghetti bolognese. And
they tried to order one lasagna and one spaghetti, but they've just ordered two spaghetti.
I'm surprised no one called up to be like, are you sure?
You sure?
Because I ordered it in I remember I was given the phone by one of your housemates. They were like, "Oh, just pick something," and I scrolled down. And I was like, "Okay, typical place: chicken wings, pizzas, kebab, lasagnas. What lasagnas? Why is there a category for lasagna? There's more than one lasagna." And I go through. Okay, we have a beef lasagna, understandable. Vegetarian lasagna, understandable. Chicken lasagna, this is getting interesting.
Spicy take, but go for it.
And then there were two others, but they came after spaghetti bolognese lasagna.
It's fascinating that it's not the boss fight.
You just have
the lasagnas.
You just have beef, vegetable, chicken, spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese lasagna. And I just looked and I was like, this is obviously a mistake. So I'll never know.
It feels like a Google Translate or something.
I never know if it was a mistake. If it was, it's great because the first time I never told any of you. I was sat there and I opened it and I was like, it looks like a lasagna, and I was like, that is a spaghetti bolognese. I can't
lasagna spaghetti.
I was shocked because I can't complain. This is what I ordered.
It was like one of our mates sort of was walking the kitchen or something on his way back.
Chris, what the fuck is
No.
that?
The first time I had it was the night we did the SpongeBob movie. Yeah. So
no, I don't.
Everyone noticed. So the second time I did it is when everyone noticed. And at that point I'd rationalised.
Wait, hang on, the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah. The SpongeBob.
Was that the time that our good friend was worried if the towels were moving?
Yes, that was.
You ordered a spaghetti lasagna? I had no idea.
Apparently.
No, because that was the night that you were in the toilet for 4 straight hours.
Yeah, that was beforehand.
Were you throwing up spaghetti lasagna?
That's what we're now finding.
You ordered 2 of them after that? I'm surprised you didn't have PTSD.
It became his staple takeaway food.
I was worried he'd just gone too hard. I think now I realise he just had fucking colossal food poisoning. And then he was like, "Yes, more. Give me."
It was a bad.
I want the Lego to be more often, please.
when I was questioned on it the following time, everyone was like, "There's no such thing as spaghetti bolognese lasagna," and I was like, "No, there is. Like, I forgot. I didn't realize till it arrived. I was like, they've seen me order it before. And then after you were so insistent, I was like, I don't think anyone noticed me order it. I think I gave the phone over, and there were enough
This is
orders
a
on there that
little
it
sneaky lasagna.
and just went.
It has no right to exist.
That's incredible that you guys never do. Because I was just like, I think they're just memeing.
Dude,
It's happened.
not to be mean. I didn't notice you'd gone.
You've got.
I
was.
on the stairs most of that night.
There was a lot going on that night.
I didn't
notice
want.
most of it. to be
I
honest.
didn't want to make a fuss, so I was like, I'll be back in a second. I just need to do a tactical chunder, and I will be back. And I threw up, and I was like, no time has passed at all. Let's watch the Lego movie. Open the door. It's over. Oh no. Absolutely awful.
Oh dear God. Well, that was an aside. We were doing
Well,
Valheim bosses.
Well, we've done the natural progression of E General Grievous and Zenyatta's world.
Hi, my name's Zenyatta.
My name's Zenyatta. I'm in Overwatch
You make
and
it sound
Spider-Man
like some
Far
sort of
From
Disney
Home.
teen fiction film.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm just a normal girl from a high school. My name's Zenyatta. I'm a monk.
I'm just a normal omelet.
Dear diary.
Mercy. She's an angel in my eyes.
No, man, don't. It's another pod. Save it. It's another podcast. Stop it.
To the list.
I don't
I'm
get.
adding it to the list.
I don't get on with new girl Sombra.
She's the trans student.
Wow. Looks like we're gonna need some brains for this one. How about you use this poison? Oh, Moira, you're such a goofy one.
Right. So we've got Evis. Zenyatta planet.
So we got two left. By the way, it's 2D the planet, so don't confuse that for a 3D object that is solely 2D.
This is a
You
big-
globe-tard.
Mm-hmm.
This is a flat Earth.
I
Flat
bet you don't
Valheim.
believe in Time Cube.
Suddenly, for some reason, when you put on the hat, it makes it feel more real in a way. It's almost less silly. Just because you've committed to it so hard, it almost makes more
I
sense.
don't know what you're on about.
He's also got his head put over the cow.
It's a funny way of doing it.
He'd slip, yeah, he'd slip up
This
otherwise.
isn't a hat. This is not a hat. This is just a flat cow that he's got on his head and is pretending is a hat.
It's a hat.
Yeah, we can have the discussion of what constitutes a hat. Like, if it fits on your head, is it a hat?
I think if it fits in your head and it doesn't
I don't
fall
know.
off. Because I can do
It's one for the
this.
scientists.
He's not falling anyway.
He ain't going anywhere, no. That's just a sign that you've got ridiculously good headphones, to be fair.
Yeah,
They must fit your ears very well.
they do. In fact,
Sorry.
I have big ears and they fit like a glove. Or like some
ear glove.
appropriately sized headphones would. It's one thing that I hate
Can you
about.
tell me? Can you? I know it's for the next boss or something. Can you just out with it?
No, I'm not. It's not. There's
What's
That-
with the cow?
not everything needs to have a reason. People have free will and they can just decide to do things.
I know you. You like to be the one who pretends he's irreverent, but actually in real life has a cunning plan all along, but it's not very
He
cunning.
wants us to now, so we forget about it. The fourth one will be cow.
I feel like now I'm thinking that basically his plan was, I know, I'll put on a cow, and they will insist it's for a reason,
Yeah.
and that's the reason. It's just to nibble us, which
I could put a cow on my head, and it's going to confuse them one way or the other. One way or the other. They'll be
I
convinced
don't
it's
have
one
to.
way.
I don't have to obey anybody's rules.
What we've,
They can't stop me.
what we've done is we just decided to play along with his silly little game.
We're feeding into it. Yeah.
It's gotten to the point in my life that I can do.
Should have just ignored it.
We should have. We should have. Yeah.
The good thing
This is
about
a lesson for everybody.
whatever I do in any part of my life, it doesn't matter what I do. It's because all of you guys will believe there is some deep reason for it, on why I'm doing a particular thing. Whereas
It's usually because you heard a story where James Acaster did a similar thing.
James Acast
Well,
hasn't
there's
done this.
Some sort of just, you know, there's a joke in this. He has thought of, and no one else will think of, and then he.
And it's not really a joke. He finds it funny. He'll do it. It's good enough.
Yeah.
What's the next boss?
I'm just an art. I thought about before you asked me about the hat, I thought you were going to ask me why didn't you come up with a suggestion, which my response was going to be I am the artist here. So I'm going off what you guys.
I'm the artist. How dare I be
Because
creative?
as
What are you
soon
talking
as I
about?
start
What a preposterous
drawing, it's
idea.
going down going down a path of something I can draw. So this is the point where you guys
so far
get a
we've
lot
been
of
limited
the
by
power.
what you can draw.
Why don't
Yeah.
you put
What
some
about-
lines down and we'll see.
Do a line. Do one line. Not a straight one. I just meant like, you know,
Oh, that's not.
a squiggly line, but like, you know,
It doesn't have to be straight. It can go in any direction. Just
I'd rather it
down.
wasn't straight because otherwise I can't do anything with a
and then
line.
take it off when you feel you're ready.
Precisely.
That's what we want.
Okay. I'm seeing a shrimp.
Yeah. Some
First?
sort of like sluggy head.
Well, a sluggy, like it's either a sluggy head or I was thinking like a shrimp like curves back on itself and then it's got the little sort of antenna
yeah.
thing coming out the front. Now it's nothing.
Nah,
Shrimpsty9.
the Mario.
Shrimpsty9, the god of bad ideas. That's okay, that's our boss. Great. I'm proud of you.
Is the Overlord shrimp who oversees the galaxy in which Zenyatta lives.
It's converging on just a snake, which is boring.
We have achieved snake.
I was happy with Shrimpsty9. I thought that was golden, but you know, whatever. Okay. It's Larry the ketamine duck, and he's having a bit of a moment right now. But he'll be back later.
He's on his back.
He's completely KO'd. But when he isn't, he's a force to be reckoned with. You have to get him when he's in a ketamine hole. It's simple business. Don't do drugs, kid. Single kid.
Single.
Don't do drugs, kid.
Don't do kids, my child.
Child, do not
Don't do kid drugs. So this is Larry the duck. He can be found on the ocean. He's usually just kind of planking in the sea. He's got a green beard and he's got green eyes.
Now that we,
And he's a frog. Okay, he's a frog sock puppet.
so now
see.
that we've defeated the planet, we go in.
We're going back to basics.
And we take on
Well, it's our planet now. We've conquered it. But there's still
some sort of uprising of
there's still dissidents. Yeah.
creatures.
It's I mean there is a creature in Valheim called a neck that's not unlike this thing. Maybe this is the neck god. We're getting dangerously close to that one hypnotoad thing. Is it called hypnotoad? I feel like it's called hypnotoad. It is. Wow. Nailed it.
Drama? The Simpsons? One of the two?
I was thinking Pokemon.
Oh, no, you mean Whirlpool, or whatever it's called.
Why? No, that's not it.
The one with
What is it?
No, 'cause the
Yeah, but it's not called Whirlpool.
It has the whirl on its stomach.
My
Yeah,
favourite
but it's-
Pokemon's Whirlpool.
You're thinking of Deadpool, Matt.
You
No,
are
it's
a
called
numpty.
Hypno.
Hypnotoad is from The Simpsons.
Not hit. Fuck off with hypnotize. I'm not talking about
Polywell.
hypnotize.
That first.
Fucking Polywell. That's what I said, isn't it?
I just want it noted that neither of you were anywhere close to it. No, it's Poliwag, Poliwell, and it's a split evolution to Poliwag or Politoad.
Polywell is Whirlpool backwards, almost.
Nearly, I suppose.
In fact, what I'd say, it's Polly and then the word whirl from Whirlpool in that order.
Polly,
And-
I'm only one letter off.
And if you put that backwards,
If I called it a pool well, I would have been closer. Is what I'm saying.
Can I just say, the competency of drawing fluctuates so heavily between these panels.
so this is Whirlpool backwards, or close to it.
No,
Yeah,
Polywell.
Yeah, you said Whirlpool is just
Polywell
Polywell
backwards,
backwards,
yeah.
so that's Whirlpool.
No, Matt, he has got you on the ropes here. I'm sorry.
I mean,
He's
no,
proven.
that's
He's
Polywell backwards. I said Whirlpool backwards, more or less Polywell.
Okay.
No, Chris, that's Polywell backwards. I said Whirlpool is backwards Polywell. It's a difference. That says loop. Loop.
I don't think Chris knows how to spell Whirlpool.
No, I'm fascinated. Oh dear, he really doesn't. He's Googling.
I've
Oh my god.
no, it's
Oh my fucking god, Chris. For real?
It's because in the Pokemon games, Poliwell is a U instead of
This
an
poor
I.
cunt has been educated through Pokemon and nothing else.
This is when we get the
Oh,
comment which
no.
just goes, actually, you got Poliwell wrong because it is an I.
Oh man. What is this? What is he? You drew it. I'm trying to attach meaning to it, but I feel like I'm going nowhere.
Art doesn't need
What,
meaning.
is it a sock puppet? Because it feels like it's a sock puppet. It's got like the cut off at the neck.
This is what it looks
Is
like
it-
after you defeated it.
I'm realizing. I'm hang on. I'm realizing, and I know why, because Chris can't draw. But every single boss so far has just been a severed head.
Yeah, what
In
we
some
have
form.
is Grievous, Sans Executor, and then Dead Frog.
Dead Frog, the head frog. Hey kids, I'm Dead Frog, the head frog. I'm the head of the frogs, and if I'm dead, but the alive frogs will be a problem. We can't just have dead.
Of the alive frogs.
No, the
can
fourth
see
boss.
me when
The
I'm
fourth
dead.
boss is the alive frogs. Dead Frog, the head frog, comes first, but he's a zombie frog, and he's like weakened, and he's how terrifying the alive frogs will be. Everyone knows that frogs are the like antithesis of a Viking because they're slippery and they don't have beards, and so they can't. The Vikings can't beat frogs because they jump too much, right? So, well, where was I going with this?
No, but keep going, you'll get there. You know,
Excited to see.
I'm excited. I cannot wait to see where this ends up.
Well, I was just kind of working it out in my head why the fourth boss is actually just the frogs. It's Homer.
Like the,
It's Homer Simpson, but he's a frog.
It's like, sure, you can take on big gods and plus-sized people and the heads.
Yeah.
You take on the masses.
Yeah.
There's only one of you. There are
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
frog.
You ain't gonna kill a million frogs. It's literally 1 million. The second you kill Dead Frog, the head frog, there's a counter that just pops up at the top of the screen, and it says 1 million, and you have to go and kill. You have to find and kill every frog. Why is he such a gangster? Oh, is that a sewing needle or is that a teardrop tattoo? I can't
That's
tell.
a teardrop because all of them are robots. I've had to robotize him somewhat.
Oh, we're still doing that.
Yeah, of course we are.
I forgot.
They're robots. He's a robot dead. He's a robot zombie.
It's
Dead Hog the Hedgehog. Frog.
it's
Bog.
Dead Hog the Hedgehog. It's Johnny Silverfrog, and he's from Cyberpunk, and he's a ghost. That's Johnny Hand Frog.
Wait,
Hans Johnny Frog.
hand.
Hands Johnny Frog, the froggy condom for a hand.
It's
Super Hands Johnny Frog, the froggy condom.
And it's Valheim. We're playing.
And
Valheim.
it's Valheim. Did you Vikings? Look,
I remember this.
I'm a Twitch streamer.
Glasses.
Oh yes, the head frog, the dead frog. No, what was it? Hans Christian Andersen, the Frog Emperor. For fuck's sake.
Red Riding. The brother.
Oh, you can't do that one. That's undo. Control X now. Wait, is that it? Is it? No, it's Control Z. I got it wrong.
We can paste it somewhere else if you
Both.
like.
Just cut and paste in bin.
Put cut in.
What has he done? What is this?
I made it black.
We've
Why is
defeated
it-
the planet. How are you going to be back on the planet? It's going to have to be in space, isn't it? God.
Oh, right.
It's like it's
an
not
alien.
even taking it seriously.
Is it an alien?
Cool. It's a robot. We've been over this. It's like it's not even paying attention to what we're doing.
Robot.
It's
We're-
a
No,
robot.
but Chris, no, but the problem is we've already done an alien robot. We did like that.
They're all robots. This is
It's an alien robot. They're both alien robots. It's lazy.
The big
This is Frognitude.
That's fine.
This is Frognitude, eater of
It's
stars.
Unifrog, the devourer of worlds, and he's come here to devour Valheim, but he finds that you've already fought Valheim, and now he's going to devour you.
Yeah.
You never see what the hand is connected to. It's just an infinite arm. It extends off into the distance. That's it. That's the arm, is it?
No,
I don't know
that's
what that
that's a
is.
tree because in the previous one,
Oh,
in the
it's
previous
it's just
one,
a size comparison. I see.
he's bigger.
It's quite big. He's quite big.
He's big because
So
we couldn't
we've
have a boss smaller than the previous boss.
No, of course not. That'd be silly.
Mm-hmm.
So Unifrog will come. And, well, how do you summon Unifrog? Is it just like
When on him, I just want it known that on him is just necks. It's just all necks.
yeah, it's all necks.
It's all necks.
Even though necks aren't at all frogs, but
Yeah. There's an astronaut looking at him, and he's like, one sec.
a pixel, a little pixel man.
That's all.
What
Now, what's
on
he
earth
do-
could he
now-
be googling?
I don't know. At this point,
I'm in awe
just
of Hatman. Hair's annoying me. The hair's annoying me. It's alright, it's fine. This bit's being cut, so I can tell everyone how annoying my hair is.
Wow.
go get your hair. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna shave it all off.
I mean, I know some people who certainly shaved their hair over, and then they did it again for the
Really?
this lockdown, and
Mhm.
obviously, you know, some of them were like, actually, we're coming out a bit too soon. My hair's not quite growing back enough yet.
Mhm.
They stopped being afraid of it.
Yeah, I mean, the first time it was fine. Everybody knew, you know, right at the beginning, no matter what happened, by the time I got back outside, yeah, it would be August earliest. That didn't song, and so again, and then I was like, actually, you've not got as much time because January and March, and we're out back outside again.
It's fucking March, man.
Wow.
I feel like 2020 happened. I know this is going a bit off topic, but does 2020
Yes and no.
really feel like it's kind of in this?
It doesn't really. But right, it's the worst of both worlds. It doesn't feel like it happened, but also, I don't know what happened before it. Like it doesn't feel like February of 2020 was like real. No. No.
Just copy and paste meme.
No, it's not the
No.
fourth one. I'm just explaining the 3-1. They just go, wait, that we didn't just defeat Valheim. They go, it wasn't Valheim, it was Lizard Man. And you go, wait, it's all Lizard Man? And it's like it always has been. That's the big twist. But that's the penultimate twist because you've got a final boss to do.
Wait, so you're telling me that
Yeah,
it's always been a frog?
Actually, guys, this is the big prank I've been pulling. Is actually, it's still 2020. I made up a whole year just to fuck
What
with
was it? What a nasty man.
We were having this conversation yesterday. Me and Chris sort of in
through what was happening.
old group chat.
Yeah, going through old
yeah.
group chat, and it's
I love
just
that, by the way. Very therapeutic. Originally, I was very sad, and then I was like, actually, no, I need this. This is nice.
Some of those things were only from like February last year.
yeah.
That's when life just fucking ceased, and it's horrible because it doesn't feel like 2020 existed, but also that feels like a million years ago,
Yeah.
which is like this nasty kind of thing. Well, actually, no, it's strange. So for some reason, the first lockdown for me did exist, and the summer kind of existed.
Yeah.
Autumn onwards, September onwards, what?
Basically, anything,
Not real.
you know, and people were meant to be going back to school and uni, and you know, just sort of stuck at home.
The thing is, that's because when it stopped being novel.
Yeah.
Like it was weird and like surreal for the start, and then it was just life, and it was like it's like unlife.
It was like life we just had time, and we've done it all before, and it's now I'm just where am I going?
I feel like I feel like 50-year-old me now. I like because it was weird when you were showing us all those old pictures and videos and whatnot of us lot. It was like looking at myself and not recognizing me, but being like, but that's me, not this one. I'm like this kind of. That's me. I'm not me. Oh shit! I'm not me.
I am not a person. I've spent so long inside.
That it's fucking sobering to be like I'm dead and I can see myself there.
I can't wait.
I'm not it.
I can't wait to see everyone and just because you know when you're with people for a long amount of time, you become a bit degenerate in your memes. But I think the lack of social interaction for pretty much a year in person is gonna dial
Hard reset.
that to fucking 1,000% more. There's gonna be
It's going to be
1,000
horrific.
times
It's
more.
very much going to go one of two ways. Either we go down into the pit of just where, you know, that we'd always been digging ourselves, and we'll over right back in.
Yeah,
I'm going. We have.
We'll just tentatively stood around the pit looking at each other, just like.
I can't remember how to jump. How do we go?
It's going to
do we
be.
do it?
I don't know who the
Go
first.
down there.
I don't know who the first person I'm going to see
Down there.
is,
I don't wanna
but
go down there. It's nice.
I want you all to go back on Discord. I'm afraid.
Last year, I'm comfortable.
I don't-
The sun's out. I've got food. I can go home where I want.
I
don't
just
feel safe.
I don't. The first time I see someone, I don't know whether I'm just going to be like, "Oh, hello," or I'm going to go up to one of you and just kind of put my hand on their face without explanation, and then just go, "I can do this now." Been a year, haven't done it before, but that's something I've never done to someone without explaining myself.
Just gonna put my hand on your face, give you a sniff, and just that's it. The most
First I want to go to Jake. I want to put my
hand.
hands there and I want to go Jake, and then be like, now drive us to where we're going. Jake.
The weirdest thing is the height differences.
Yeah.
Because you're all just boxes.
Yeah.
You don't have heights.
Everyone's become the
when we
same
met up, I was
size.
like, Jesus Christ, Chris is quite tall.
Chris is quite tall.
I forgot that Chris was tall.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he's like big.
Yeah. It is big. I mean, I don't get that. I just go and be like, everyone's as short as I remember them being.
To be fair, it was only you, Chris, because you were taller.
Yeah.
No, that was it. It was because like you're all that's it. No, it's because you're all eye height on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So for one of you to be like, I have to look up.
It
I don't
is.
have to. Chris isn't there.
Like looking.
I mean, it's not that fucking tall.
Like,
Yeah.
It was just like,
Yeah. I don't remember because all of you are probably around like here to here, but I'm gonna get confused when I see Helen and Zoe again, and they're like here, like significantly lower than everyone else. I'm just gonna look down and be like, "Hello, I'm tiny people.
Hello, child.
Hello, children."
Hello, child.
I'm gonna go up to somebody and be like, "You've grown so much since lockdown." I'd be like, "Oh, really?" I'd be like, "No, not at all."
This was the other thing that really came out of diving through all of those old like video chats and stuff. Was just like all of the memes that we drove into the ground for each other. Like hello, child.
It can be reused.
Yeah, we can do them again.
You can do it again.
When it has no milk, cereal when it has
Yeah. That never died. It was in the midst of being used.
I was just like, I stumbled past it. I was like, I just remember shouting that at each other.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Why did memes stop
I
when we
don't-
moved to
I
Discord,
can't-
which is like the gamer platform?
I can't wait. I'm gonna go to the train station. I'll probably be picked up by Jake. I'm gonna put my hands on his face and be like, "Jake." And I'm not gonna say anything in the car. I'm just gonna walk into the house we meet up into, get my carrier bag out, pop the Switch in, take 4 controllers out, and play Mario Kart because I haven't
Just sit
touched the
down,
game in a
like
year.
nothing's changed.
I haven't played the game in a year, and
Oh
the
my
fact they
God,
haven't announced
that's
anything about Mario Kart 9 is pretty much driven more than anything in this pandemic has driven me to the brink of insanity. The fact I've not been able to play Mario Kart with people. I don't think I'll survive.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I thought of a I was thinking about Mario Kart for some reason.
Because you haven't done your homework
I don't
yet.
know. Shit, no, that was it. Yeah, and I thought I've got another podcast, got another idea. Let's make a Mario Party level. There's only like 4 of them.
There's
we go.
more in the
We can draw it.
previous
It's
games.
tile-based.
Yeah. Pop it on the list.
And if we're feeling, you can maybe come some new mini games.
Hang the fuck on.
We can make a Mario Kart. game.
Mario Party is like
Why?
it's really simple.
Yeah.
Why?
We can make one.
Why did they make Mario make
Like
for?
why didn't they do Mario
Why
Party?
didn't they
Why
do
can't
it
you
for
do
Mario Party?
that? Would be so fucking cool. And also we can just make a board game.
You're all
Just make up some dice and make a board game.
You boys
Or-
are some twisted demons. Where the entire internet, as soon as they saw Mario Maker, you know what the next logical step is. Zelda Maker making Legend of Zelda. But no, you two are like, the obvious extension. What you've done is I think you've accidentally cracked into the fucking minds of Nintendo because that is the most Nintendo thing. It'd be like
Wait,
everyone wants.
hang on. Are you
everyone
telling
would-
me no one's thought of this?
No one has thought. No one. I don't think
Are
I've
we
seen
the only
anyone.
people that like Mario Party?
No one. Let me. Super Mario.
Because like I know that Mario Party used to be a much more complicated and much more like enjoyed game back in the day, and then there was the weird car Mario Party, and then now there's the one that's like nice and good, but there's like 4 fucking levels.
It just makes sense. It's like there's
Yeah.
games like it where you
It's
have
so easy to make.
fan-made maps and things that just
It's just tile. It's a
part of
board
the
game.
culture of the game.
The one place I found Mario Party Maker on the internet is 2 places. Alpharad, who made a video titled Super Mario Party Maker, which is probably just his Super Mario Maker series because he just does clickbait titles because he can. Another one by user TP Clus with 12 upvotes, Mario Party Maker. And you just have people such as Tim226.
So does this
We
mean that
have
we have
comically
had
bad ideas. Yeah.
Or does it
Well,
I
mean
think-
pause.
that
Hang on.
the
Hang
people
on.
are not yet aware?
Okay.
I think the people are not yet ready for. I think
Chris, you're the Nintendo ambassador. Do people like this iteration of Mario Party? Because I know that it's been up and down all over the shop. No, people don't like this one.
No, because
Why don't they like it?
Is it just because it's not enough?
because the content in Super Mario Party compared to most of the Mario Party games is like your average Mario Party game would have around about 12 wards.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just thinking
but
about that. I'm
there's
so
four.
no,
There's
dude.
four
Have
in
you seen?
this
If
one.
you've seen the old Super Mario Party boards, they look they're massive. They're like 50
But
tiles
the thing
long.
is-
It's crazy.
Other than this one was the DS one, and I
The,
played
th-
it
the
like
thing,
twice.
the
'cause I
thing
didn't
is
own
though,
the game.
the thing is though that doesn't include that they didn't have stuff like River Rapids and like two people Mario Party, and the last two games were four. It was basically one person with the Wii U gamepad playing as a big Bowser, and the other four people in a car playing together. Which is
It
not
was the
Mario
car,
Party.
yeah.
It's not, and
It
we
was the
had that
fucking
for
car,
two.
man.
So I think Super Mario
Terrible.
Party was like everyone was like, "This isn't what
Yeah,
we
but
want,"
no.
but this is a massive improvement for the last 5 years. But you get that, and people are like, oh, basically it's innovated enough that people are happy with it. People are just unhappy with people are just like, oh, they're going to sell DLC boards, that's what they're going to do it. No, they just didn't. They didn't do anything, which angered people more.
It would take an afternoon.
And people, and people are just like, Nintendo never does anything sensible. I'll never forgive them. And then Mario Golf gets announced, and everyone's like, oh, fucking Nintendo! Oh, Mario Golf!
Why? I don't understand. Crowdsourcing or intellectual property is the easiest ways to just make money these days.
They used to do that, but the game
fans make the game they want because then they'll be happy.
The issue.
Get all the profit.
The issue is that they did Super Mario Strikers for the Wii, which is the best Mario spin-off game, and they were unhappy because Mario looked too angry in it. So they were being very protective of their IP until recently, when they started being more flexible. But the thing is, it's like I have no interest in golf, I have no interest in Mario Golf, but Yoshi rides on an egg. So unfortunately, I'm not.
That's meta.
It annoys me. I'm just like, I don't want to like this. I do.
I love that with Nintendo fans, all it takes is Yoshi rides an egg, and they're like, "I'm sorry, guys, I'm
That's 50 quid down the drain now.
I'm buying it." Have you seen this one? Yoshi rides an egg.
Well, if we
golf,
just get.
but-
By the way, if we just continue talking shit for another hour, we can just take the bits that are unrelated to Valheim out of this and just release the. This is a separate podcast to be like. We got so off track. We got so off track on the Valheim episode that we have taken the outliers of the conversation, which means that we can just talk about this for next hour, because I don't mind being recorded and just talking absolute tripe for another hour and then make the final Valheim boss.
I do want to do an actual Mario Party map.
Oh yeah,
at some point. That is important to me now.
I do love it's gonna be like short bit, and then just this incredibly long stretch between 2 and 3, and then another incredibly long stretch between 3 and 4.
We've done this before, where we've just gone so massively off topic, and then we're like, oh yeah, we have to finish the original.
Look. Well, we'll get around to it later. When does Mario Golf Super Rush come out? Because we should definitely record.
What is Mario Golf Super Rush?
We need to set some time out at some point, like a couple of one evening a week, where we record some Danganronpa, because I know a man wants to play this, and you can play it. It's one of those games that I can just boot up and record it on my screen, and you can vicariously play it through my perspective, because it's like I just need to click the buttons. It comes out on June 25th, so actually, around about when lockdown ends is when Mario Golf will be.
Day that Fast and Furious 9 gets released to cinemas, I'll have you know.
That's a good day. That's a pretty good day.
The game's only 4.9 gigs, so I can probably download it straight onto my Switch as well.
Well, For that
That's
sake, we need to meet up on the 24th of June, get together to watch all of the Fast and Furious movies, go out the following, go and watch it at the premiere, come home, load down whatever it was you just said, Chris.
it's Mario
Again,
Golf Super
the
Rush.
Nintendo's.
Basically, we'll watch all of Fast and Furious, and then at midnight we'll go watch the actual movie, and then we will crash, and then we will wake up, and it will just be we'll start doing Mario. I do have a capture card, so we can actually set that up. We can just record everything we need to play. If we can set it up.
A GoPro, and we'll just do
It is. I just want people to appreciate that on this channel. When we all meet up again, I am going to be recording so much degenerate shit when we first meet up. It's that you will just get a good week or however long we meet up for, just to absolute try. I don't know. I think, well, I don't want to say who it is, but I think I know whether it's an Airbnb or one particular person hosting, which is the one person you probably can. I don't know which way it'll go. I think the issue with the person hosting is that I don't know whether there's a cinema near them.
There's not enough space in that particular house. Not for the lot of us.
That's not enough space.
Because
Not for a lot of us.
depends on where people are.
Me and the pot will be sharing a room again. Wherever we go.
Guaranteed.
Dude,
Guaranteed. He'll be in the bed. I'll have my air bed. I'll have to de-inflate it so we can get out of the room again.
Again, going back to the Facebook chats that were up yesterday. The first time that me and Chris really know each other, Chris just one of us sends a message to the group, just been like, I think Chris sent a message just going like, Matt, actually a really, really sound lad. And I just go, he's very deep in response. He's just like, this is a deep
very deep.
Bonded on a level that we never thought was possible.
It was the two videos of me leaving the room, coming back, and I type in, Matt is a really cool dude. And then Matt just puts down, this is very deep.
I love that video because one of you walks off and then there is like maybe 10 straight seconds of silence still filming,
and the video ends,
and then he returns in a different video.
I think the great thing is that off camera, it turned, because I went to go get us some food, but I went to go get myself food, and then you just have, can you get me something as well? And I do not respond. And then they're saying, and what you don't realize is that there is a 5-minute gap between the first video and the second video because he recorded it. I didn't come in. He deleted the recording and then started recording again until I came back in with the food.
I was convinced he had not heard me, and I was just like, he's not going to come back with anything. So I'm going to have to get a chair, go and get my own food, despite the fact that
again, in my mind, I was like, I could respond and say I heard him, or it's gonna kill him if I say nothing. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll come back in and I'll suddenly be the greatest person in the world because all he'll be thinking about is that he did remember.
Yeah, to be fair, you got me.
I did. I knew exactly what I was doing. Because it was like I got the food, then I almost came in, and I went to go get myself some water, and then I came in.
Good chain of events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a pretty messy night in general.
It was a very messy night. I have 30 minutes worth of video from that night, which did not go onto the chat.
I'm honestly not surprised it's longer because didn't you record like videos to every person?
I recorded.
And they were all like 10 minutes long.
It was just.
I was just one
conversation. Yeah.
It was. Quite remember what the conversation.
It was.
Just remember.
We did have like a load of conversation about like, because I was inside, you were outside, and I did a video call to be like, happy birthday, it's your birthday today, happy birthday.
So dumb.
And then the pot came back in, and I was like, let's do another video. But this time he's inside. It's crazy. I was very drunk.
It was incredible. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
okay.
I think my favorite one though is just I don't know who I didn't see that picture, but the most depressing picture of me that I've ever seen of just me in my Tokyo National Park thing with the bear on, playing on the
Yeah.
PlayStation Classic. No one else in the living room. The living room's
In a dark room,
and
in what
somebody's
I'm
taking a
absolutely
picture.
certain, because I know the daylight in that was like about 11 in the morning.
Yeah, it was the
In
night
that
after,
room.
It was the morning after.
It was the morning after. He was the first one up. The room was fucking trashed. Like that, it was disgusting. He's just sitting
I was
in the
always the
center,
first one
like
up
a
because-
12-year-old boy just playing after a sleepover. But it's like a sleepover from the universe of Mad Max. And he's just sitting there calmly in the center of all this chaos.
As everyone else slowly gets up, they sort of walk down. It's just a man playing.
It's just a man playing Tekken with
It's just a
himself.
man. There's just a man playing Yoshimitsu.
I don't know who took the photo.
I don't know who took the photo. It's the most
Because you
depressing.
had it, so you can't have taken the
I
photo.
can't have taken the photo. Evidently, I didn't realise the photo was taken. On the look of my face, whoever it was must have been the first one down, so I can eliminate the pot from that equation immediately. Because he was never. It was between.
That's true.
It was
I'm trying to
between the
think.
two.
I'm trying to think
The
who's
two
always
of
the
you
first.
would be the last one down.
Probably.
Well, generally, I think.
I don't know.
We were usually also the last ones to go to bed.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
And
yeah,
it was
that is
also,
true.
like,
Yeah,
But I'd be the
of
first
in
one
those
up
mornings-
still.
In those mornings, I would wake up probably at around the same time you, Chris.
Mhm,
And
yeah.
I'm not ready today yet.
I haven't loaded up yet.
I need like 2-3 hours of YouTube.
Well, I wake up and when I
fucking
when I
consolidate.
when I
I'm woken up. I can't go back to sleep.
when
It's right.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh, of course,
I
yeah.
have that. It's too bright. I've gone very hard, and I just wake up and I go, you know what I need right now? I'll need a bang ass tap water in my hand hold. So I get up,
I need a
I
lot
go
of water.
downstairs, I get myself just like 2 liters of water, I plonk it down, and just before the first person comes down, I go, is it time to start seshing again? I shall begin. And then someone will come down and they'll be like, are you okay? And I'm like, I've already started again. I'm okay now. I've got a coffee and I will
the amount of days where I come back from
survive.
uni. I come back from uni and you'd be sitting in the same fucking place, and it's like 9. I want to go back to bed, and you're just up, just going. And well, I guess I have to join him because it would be rude not to.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like, you know, we have
egregious.
a normal day, and this boy.
I think my
is just
favourite
sat in our
picture is
living room.
definitely
Like
it was literally. I remember Helen being like, it's like
my favourite one is
having
just nights like
the
the
weirdest
day when
child possible staying
Yeah.
with you. It's like this house
Great.
elf just comes and lives with you for a fortnight.
and then he disappears again to go do actual
then
to
he just
go
fucks off.
to work for like he works literally for he turns up for a fortnight and he goes and he works for 2 solid weeks and then he reappears 2 weeks later for a 2 week
bizarre life.
because of how my hours work I can have 13 days off and I can work 13 days just because
Inhumanly privileged.
just because I just need to have because I can swap my hours and I'm only on an 8-hour contract, so I can work the beginning of one week and the end of another week.
That's why you stayed for longer than 2
You
weeks at a
stayed
time.
with us for over 2 weeks at one.
Yeah.
I think that time I called in a holiday
Might
for
have been
one of
Christmas.
them.
But we did also all vacate the house and go back for some day.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was in the January. It was.
Oh.
There might have been.
Oh, yeah.
We all went out. We stayed.
Yeah.
Crashed
There.
over the weekend, and me and Chris went home.
Why can't you
Well,
go?
I went home with.
I have to say,
I'm the one who was left. taking
You were
Chris
going
back to
home.
our
Chris was
house.
tagging.
I have to say
can't
that
remember that one.
there is the birthdays that we've had in that house were. I've had a birthday there, which is funny because it's not even my house. I've had a
Never lived
birthday
there.
in that house, and the two girls in our group have had raucous birthdays, but the rest of the lads have not had a raucous birthday really.
Oh, I don't know.
And I assume
know.
Yours, I was never.
Because mine always tied with another flatmate.
That too.
And it was also always end of term.
Yeah, it was always.
Yeah.
I'd be on a ski.
I was
holiday.
I'm so angry. I mean, one of the many things that COVID has ruined, but COVID ruined. It started just as I was about to have my birthday, and it was I was dying. I was hating my dissertation. I was going to explode in a chaotic weekend.
I was about to book my tickets to come down for your
never seen before,
birthday.
and I never got the opportunity.
I was gonna book to come down for your birthday. And I said I was gonna be off for April, and I was gonna like party hard in May and June.
It was going to be,
And I was like,
great
oh,
fun.
this virus thing seems like an issue. I'll make sure that it's dealt with before I book my tickets. That's what I said to myself.
Sure, I'll fix it. I was
like, I am coming down, but I better go when
Got my
it's
best mate on
safe
it.
because I don't want to go down there and like on the off chance. Yeah, because my degree was all about like we've got a big pandemic coming, and I was like we're competent. Like I'm sure we're going to close borders and like make sure it doesn't come in and such. We're just going to wait for that to happen before I book my tickets, and then 2020 happened, and I'm still waiting to book my train tickets. This is probably around about the point. This is probably around about the point where I was just like,
it's honestly, that house is such a shithole. It's not impossible. No one lives there, and we can just approach the landlords and be like, "Can we just fucking fuck about in that house again, please?
Yeah.
Just for a weekend, we'll clean it up."
We'll pay for a week.
Yeah, because a week in that place would be like 50 quid total. Like, it's.
You could probably message over the
absolutely
summer and
take
be
that.
like, you could probably message over the summer and be like, could we have?
Upscale and go to space and
Yeah.
that place.
Now, this is the thing. It's like I always felt comfortable absolutely destroying that house because it was already dreadful. Like it didn't matter. When we went there, for the viewing all those years ago, there was the room with there was a room there was a door that had a fucking hole in it, and then the year after. And for all the years thereon, there was just one unpainted door that had just hastily been like replaced.
I just love the difference between my house and your guys' house because
he was so embarrassed. He was so fucking embarrassed.
My housemates. My housemates were like, this is like, it's not the best house, but it's not the worst house, and it's usable, and we all didn't dislike it. Whereas there's some houses there was one house. It was further down your street where there was a flickering street light. So they like put paper all of it, and it was a load of medics who were graduating that year, and there was like a stuffed fox in the house, and like it was really quirky. And I was just like, so what about all the decorations? So like, oh, we're gonna leave most of it here, like the stuffed fox, you can't bring it home. And I just turned to guys like, guys, if we move it, we get a stuffed fox. And everyone else didn't agree with me. I was like, it's like, what about the strobe light? So I was like, I'll be living in the front room. It's fine. I can deal with that.
I'll tank it.
Yeah, but I ended up at my house, and I was like, okay. And I was like, it's not the greatest house in the world. And you go around a load of student houses, and you go, actually, my house is
Your house is wonderful.
My house was wonderful. I remember I went to somebody when we first moved in. Somebody knocked on our door and was like, "Oh, we're having a house party at our house." And I was like, "Oh, that's very nice of these boys. Let's go to their house party." So we walk in, and I get into the living room, and I'm like, "What is that?" And they're like, "These are our 3 refrigerators." And I was like, they look like tumble dryers. And I'm like, it only opens from the top. I just turned to I brought two of my housemates here after I sent these guys by the seven. I was like, where have I brought us? I was like, isn't there a fridge and freezer in your kitchen? They're like, no, we've got one in our fridge and kitchen. I was like, ah. I was like, so this was your doing. They said, no, this was the landlord left two of them here, but we brought a third one. I was like,
what? Why?
Because then they could all have a fridge. It was pretty much the conversation.
Our entire area of that particular town was filled with the most chaotic energies possible.
Yeah.
To be fair, student and non-student alike, they were all
as soon as you
fucking bonkers.
up the road to the park, basically everything normal again.
Yeah, quite nice.
The further
Quite
you
nice.
went that way, the more normal it got.
Yeah.
So much so that the other house that was
Normal,
completely normal.
I mean, your fucking neighbour was not normal, but
no,
you know,
he was also he was old. You know, you can't be old. You can't say that's normal. He was old.
No, I know old people. I live with old people.
I've seen old people before.
He was very old.
Yeah, but like no, you can't.
Falling down though.
There were like just open windows. Like not like a window that was open. I mean, like there wasn't a window.
There wasn't a window. I mean, actually, the brickwork was collapsing.
It was. I was amazed every time I would go to your house. I'd just stare aghast at like this man's house that is just. It's like a derelict, abandoned house, but this man is just chilling.
He's just living.
He's just fine. He's just loving life.
Sometimes you could occasionally through into his kitchen, and it's just.
Yeah, I remember seeing his kitchen. It was busy as fuck. It was a lot of things in there. It was and the orangest light possible.
Yeah.
I thought we had a pretty dingy light, but no, that guy, that was like full.
I just remember moving into my house, had the front room.
Came up to that house, and you know, we were on a night out, and we went outside for fresh air and that. And I left my key inside. You know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we're gonna quickly just step outside, quick drink, whatever, and outside. Then we'll be able to walk in. But he decided, I'm gonna shut the back door on the way out, and our back door had a very particular that only open, like you could not open it from the outside without the key. Because it like went through the side alley, and so 3 o'clock in the morning, I have to phone one of my housemates, and they didn't answer. And then they wake up and they go, "Oh shit, that's phoned me. I wonder what that's about." And they phoned me back. I'm like, "Could you please kindly come downstairs and let my mate has been an idiot, locked us out of my own house."
You should. The punishment for something that egregious should be
my favourite one.
A wedgie until the boxes dissolve.
In second year, I moved in.
Unacceptable.
I was like, oh, move in. I was like, oh, here's the road. Oh, that's funny. There's a car there with a clamped tyre. That's pretty funny. So I go in, and that evening I get a message from one of my housemates who's moving in the next day, and it's like, how's the house? Like, it's great. There's a weird noise. And they're like, can you investigate? So I go into my room after watching some TV, because I've only got the laptop in the front room because I've just set up the router and I've got it working. So I'm moving it over, and there's a light outside, like flashing, kind of a little crackly. I open it. I see this man hunched over with a buzzsaw buzzsawing off the tyre clamp. And I was just like, this is incredible. And I was like, I just especially just like, there's somebody buzzsawing a tyre clamp off their tyre. And they were like, no. So I sent a video, and they're like, are you going to tell the police? And I was like, I ain't no snitch. I respect it. I was like, my first question, where did he get the buzzsaw from? It was from the house opposite mine. Is where he got it from. Now,
Was
twist.
he from that house?
Well,
I don't know, but in second year, turns out that our mate who was social secretary of water polo lived in that house, and in third year, one of your mates lived in that house. It is the greenhouse, where I don't know whether he wants his name on it, but right, when we were making your birthday cake.
No, he
No,
never.
it can't be, 'cause he
He
lived in
no,
that
it
house
can't.
for
He
2
moved in.
years.
He lived in the same house for 3 years.
2 years.
Was the water polo guy one of his housemates?
I fucking think not.
So.
I feel like that would have come up.
You've got a house, 2 houses. Like,
I think
in
you've
the
got
next
2
door
houses.
house.
Like that. Yeah.
Maybe. But if it's the
It
one
wasn't
with,
a green door.
is it the one with the green door and the green window?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
No.
It wasn't a green window.
Because
think so.
because
It was
that's
white.
bluish window. Like,
Blue-
it was
yeah,
a
yeah,
blue
yeah.
door for definite. It was
yeah,
a blue
yeah.
door,
It was normal houses, and you had the weird house
Oh,
because
fucking
I'd
hell.
been in there to because oh, okay, then it must be the house next door because I preed in the one with like the weird coloured door and windows because my housemate was
It weren't-
housemates with the
weren't
guy
weird.
in the social sec in first year.
With us, at least, anyway, and
No.
he was there from second year.
Mhm.
Where did? So I take it that like this man who got the buzzsaw from the house was also getting the electricity from the house opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been battery.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you can have battery buzzsaws.
That's absolutely no. It was definitely it was corded because it was dark. I didn't see the cord, but when it was like he gave the buzzsaw back, and I was like, evidently. And then like after you've done that, you think, I better drive away. Now we'll leave that 3 days until we drive away after taking off the clamp.
So he clearly lived on the street and was just like, I really don't fancy my car being angle graded, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not.
He got
Being clamped, so I'm just gonna
away with
ride the
it.
fuck up.
Like no one ever. I was like, if the police come, I'll like tell them. But like, I'm not gonna just call. Unlike the 5 kids that I saw set fire to a building, I'm not gonna tell. And I only told that because
You saw 5 children set fire to a
I
building.
didn't see them set fire to a building. I saw them stood next to a building, huddled down, going, yeah. And they saw us, and they ran past us, and we walked over, and we're like, there's a fire there now. There's not normally a fire there. And we were like, it's only a small fire. Should we call the fire brigades? And we were like, we probably should.
How big? Let's Google how big a fire do you have to
put out to the fire?
Because it was on the
Yeah.
opposite side of a gate, which they'd done it underneath the gate, and now it's like it was a little bit in. There was this big bomb. I was like, that could be an issue in like an hour or so. So we call up and we go. I was on the phone and I said, "Hello, yes, we're calling to report a small fire." Hang on a second. I turn around and it's like 3 times my height. And I'm like, it's now a big fire.
The fire's evolved, okay? It's a next level fire.
And they were like,
Intermediate
where
fire
are you?
resistance
I was like, we're in the alleyway, the creepy one behind that pub. And they're like, we know the one. I was like, yeah, it's on the corner there. And they're like,
I
great.
know that one. From that description
And then,
alone, I
and
know
then
what
they said,
you're
do
saying.
the people in the houses know that there's a fire? And I was like, that's a good question. I'll go around and knock on their doors and let them know. But we were on our way to go, because this was round about Christmas, we were on our way to go meet up with some of our friends to exchange a Secret Santa. And so we went around to the front of the building. And then we got a call being like, where are you? 3 of us are waiting there. And it was the other 3 of us were there. And we were like, we're dealing with a fire. We'll be there once the police come, because you probably answer some questions. So we basically dealt with it. One of the guys who was there was like, oh no, there's a fire. Like, looked around, like, oh my god, there's a fire. Then he ran back into the house and he just drove his Ferrari that was in a garage next to the fire out. So he went in to get his Ferrari out. And then the fire brigade came, and then there was some police, and it was just like, oh, we'll explain the questions, and we explained ourselves. And we're like, do we need to stay around? I was like, I'll give you our number. And it's like, yeah. And I was like, do we have to stay around? And they're like, no. It's like, great, because we've got a Secret Santa to go to, and this was not in the plans, I'm going to be honest, to be dealing with a
This is
fire.
not on the itinerary for tonight.
And it seems like you guys have got a real good grasp.
You guys,
It's
you
weird as
guys
well.
seem to be
It was
You
proficient.
seem trained in this kind of
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
yeah.
how to
It was It was at like 3 p.m. Like it wasn't at night. This was very afternoon time period.
It's a casual day fire.
Casual day fire. Which, to be fair, all the fires I've encountered have been casual day fires. I've not encountered a night fire, unless it's 007 night fire.
Time when you've needed to call the police or the fire brigade, so when the fire occurring in the evening, because those are controlled fires.
And also, they're a lot easier to. I think it's a lot easier to spot a fire at night time, whereas in the day, they're a little bit harder to spot until they become an issue. As a second fire was with you guys, and that was like I went.
That was a fire.
I went back for Christmas. I came back in Jan, and I looked around, and there was smoke, and all of you froze, and I was like, "There's no way I've never encountered a fire before." And in the space of less than a month, I have encountered 2 fires. In this, literally no more than a 3-minute walk from one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, also that, yeah.
I was like, no, there's a fire. You guys ran in to like help out, and I was just outside like, I should probably stay outside.
A friend of mine was, as he explained later, he saw the opportunity to bash down a door, and was like, "Well, there's not another time I get to do this, so I'm going to do this now." So, miraculously, right? This is not a not busy. It's like a mildly busy town street. Not a single person saw this fire. We were walking past just an empty street, and there's just a fucking building with smoke billowing out of the bottom floor as well. Only the bottom floor, which was that was why we decided it was important to go in, because no one seemed to notice. Like nobody.
There was smoke. There was smoke coming out of the windows, and when people finally did know, so why are you guys standing around? And I was like, there is a fire. We've got it under control. We have called the fire brigade, and like I ended up doing crowd control for this little semicircle of people who just started forming, and I was just there like, "Don't go inside. You probably shouldn't go inside. Is it just you and your friends here?" I was like, "No, my friends ran inside." I didn't have time to tell them that was a bad idea because they saw it and they just went, and then the other friend, your girlfriend, turned to me and just went, "Should I call the fire brigade?" And I was like, yeah.
Okay, Matt. We weren't drunk.
No.
We were tipsy at the... No.
We had one pint.
We were very nearly sober.
We had one pint. And then we were like, we've gone out.
Like, the way your sort of goes after, like, you've been out for a bit. Fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You see a fire, it's like... I'm gonna kick that door
you just see a fire.
We went to the beer garden.
That's what he did, and I had no word of lie, no heroism whatsoever. I simply saw a friend of mine run into a burning building. I went, well, I can't be the guy that didn't run into a burning building. I have to follow him. I have to, and I did.
Just like the fact you guys there and me one fire in at this point. It's like I've seen this before. I don't need to run in. This isn't my first fire. I know I shouldn't be running into that building. And then when the fireman came, it's like you shouldn't run in there. I was like, I think my friends are in there, so if you can. When you're in there, let them know. I just love the fact.
There were several of us by the end of it, and because it was a complicated and bizarre old sort of Victorian townhouse that had a lot of different sort of
My
sub
favourite
apartments.
bit
and
was...
we had to go through the whole thing and being like, is anyone home in all of these random? There was like fucking 6 different apartments in that place.
I like the bit where you got someone out,
so
and then he ran back in. That was fun. I was just there like, because I remember somebody said, "What should we do about that?" I was like, the firemen are on their way.
Yeah, like when a guy chooses to return to the burning building.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can't.
I've made you aware of the fire.
Yeah, it's like you clearly know the risks because you were in there when it presumably started, and you are now
I also love that
out of here.
After that, we went. Because we're on our way to One Stop we picked up the switch from my house. We're going to One Stop, and then we're going to head to yours. So because I met you guys there, and it was like, I'll have a drink and then we'll head down. We'll meet up there. And then it was like, and then we're like, we'll go to One Stop. And then we came back and we were like, are we in the mood to drink? And I was like, yes, I am, at least. I understand if you guys don't want to.
It's just, I remember someone buying ice cream because fire. They were like, well, we experienced fire. That's logically you eat ice cream afterwards, and I was just,
Oh, I probably bought ice cream.
I did not understand it.
Well, I was like,
baffled.
it's not nice to see a fire. So to counteract that, buy myself some ice cream.
Be cold.
Suddenly, it's not such a bad day. Because you've had ice cream.
No one died. No one died. It was a good. We called, and only you can prevent town fires, and that's true.
I have to my 2 fires. I have not. Nobody has died in the fires I have been involved with, which can only be a good thing.
Don't say that. Don't rephrase the sentence.
I almost saw someone got injured at a fire, whilst we were at a party, and I got blamed. Despite the fact I was the one person doing
Chris,
something about it.
You are slowly painting yourself as more and more of an anarchist. Not an anarchist, an
look,
arsonist.
There was a fire. There was an outside fire, not a house fire, in someone's garden. And I was talking to someone, and they were like, "I'm going to put." They turned to me and they told me, "I'm going to put paper in the fire." And I said, "You're not allowed to do that." And they said, "You're not the boss of me." And I said, "I'm not, but that's not a good idea." So they did it. And I was like, no, stop that. And then you came over, Jack O.W., and said you need to stop that. And I said, it's not me, it's him.
Wait.
And then he said, this was much later on after dealing with him, stopping and putting stuff in the fire. And I was like, it's not me, it's him. And then he said, it's not me. It's Mr. Astral Fisher over here. And then you turned to me and said, we're swapping seats right now. So I had to move.
Oh. I was so confused.
I was flabbergasted because
I know this one. Yeah. He's exactly who would put paper in a fire.
It's just
and
like,
it is a bad idea.
I am a being of chaos, I admit that. But putting paper into a fire when we have tested this hypothesis 100 times at this point, where I've said stop it and tried to stop them from doing it, and every time they put paper into the fire, and then the paper would fall out of the fire, but now on fire,
inevitably,
which is obviously
specifically this type of fire.
It would never put
this was one of those fires where it's like
it's
a hole and then a chimney, and that's it. So it goes in, and it goes in and falls out, or it goes in and fires upwards and is now on fire and just.
I tried to
go near the fire and catch fire. It would never go directly into the fire.
And I got the blame, and I was like, I don't care anymore, because it will take mere minutes for my innocence to be proven, and I don't have to deal with him anymore. Yet
I'm surprised I didn't know it was him.
And then after it started doing him, I was like, do you want me to swap places with him? And you turned to me and said, you're not off the hook yet. Like we had conspired on this somehow. But he remained there the entire time when you had the babysitter. Whereas if I just swapped places with him, we would have solved the issue immediately.
Didn't he stop though? I seem to remember him stopping when I was there.
He stopped. He ran
out of paper.
Yeah, and also when everyone else started sitting down around, so everyone would have seen him putting the paper into the fire.
Yeah, the other thing was this also
of course
everybody was slowly
which thank God, because peer pressure is the boss of him, it turns out.
Well, it was also it was getting towards given it was on because it was the end of the night.
It was getting
people were using the fire.
More people were coalescing around the fire to keep warm, and then
somebody's
seeing one boy chucking paper at a fire. Suddenly, when he realizes all eyes are on him, and every other comes to stop, look at him, afraid that in fire, because I'm gonna stop throwing.
It's fucking fantastic because it's literally sunk cost fallacy. Am I an idiot? Because first of all he was just fucking about. And then one person tells them, "Stop! That's a dumb idea. Stop it! You're being dumb."
But to be fair, that was me.
Dumb.
That was me. So I understand the hesitation.
When Astral Fisher is telling you you're stupid, you're like, "No, I'm not stupid, and I have to keep doing this to prove that I have the conviction to know that I'm not stupid." Yeah. And then more people start to see you doing it, and you're like, "Oh shit, maybe I'm stupid."
Yeah.
And to be fair, as much
throwing paper into a fire doesn't sound like the dumbest idea, but in this particular case,
it was bad.
The setup of the paper fire and seating arrangement,
very crowded environment.
Yeah. I may just say, I don't
into a fire with poor aim.
But also not properly doing it.
I don't want to say who this was.
For the last 6 hours.
Also, he was fucking blasted.
I don't. Well, I know. I can see it. I can see it in his eyes. I don't want to say who it was, but I do have to say that out of our friend group, I am definitely a being of pure chaos, and there are 2 people in our group who are. In fact, there's 3 people in our group who are quite chaotic. But they're very different kinds of chaotic. We have one who is socially chaotic in terms of the fact of what they say to people doesn't make too much sense. But I really love everything that's being said. Like it's gold. I love it. You have one person who is mentally chaotic. Who fucks with your brain when you're most vulnerable with the most not anything like you're going to die someday, but just with things just like, are you really drunk? You're not drunk at all. When you're completely shit, really does like mess with your brain to a certain extent. But the person who was doing this was took my aspect of physical chaos, where
physical chaos.
Yeah, he is the physically chaotic one. Which you know. So the fact that this was kind of a mixture of mentally and physically chaotic, kind of he's not. With the 2 of us there, I can understand. Despite the fact it's not something I'd ever do, I can understand from an outside perspective. You might think this was my doing, but I want it on record. I'm never going. That's a stupid idea, because I may be chaotic, but I am not dangerous. I try not to be. I'm not dangerous on purpose.
I don't think you're dangerous. To be fair.
I'm not dangerous.
I've got to say, hand on heart, full honesty. If it hadn't been me that had been appointed as a person who lives at home with an open fire and can start a fire reasonably effectively, and had been appointed as the fire guy, I would have been the sort of fucker to just be shoving paper, and it wouldn't have been falling out. I would have been doing a proper job for it.
Oh yeah,
but you know,
that's
I would also.
the issue.
I do like to fuck with a fire.
I was watching somebody saying I know how to deal with a fire when clearly they did not. Like I can't.
They may know how to deal with a fire. They don't know how to deal with fire.
They weren't showing.
I'm not mincing words, but maybe I was normally, you know, I could have explained myself quite calmly to the fact that I am not responsible for this. But there were 2 factors against me here. It's that one, I was exceedingly drunk, and the second one was the mouth of the fire was pointed at my chair. So the fire was going underneath where I was sat, which was a big problem for me. And I couldn't move the fire. He refused to. I moved his chair, and then I went to go sit back down, and he moved back. Like I tried everything, and I was like, "Oh, somebody's come over. Thank God. Please help me." And then I got blamed. It was horrendous. And that night was just a series of unfortunate events for old Astral Fisher.
That was really the turning when
the turning point.
Normal weird drunk stuff.
My favourite.
I never forget.
My favourite bit was the drunkest one of us tripping over, and their cousin taking their drink. And in front of
it was sublime.
Catching
it. They caught it.
Caught it. It dropped. And it wasn't like they caught it and they held it there. No, in one circular
Perfect.
fluid
Perfect
moment,
maneuver.
which I can only ascribe to being in perfect harmony with the golden ratio. Just cyclically makes this perfect curve of down, grab, up into mouth,
It was,
and the liquid just plummets down from this full bottle of
this
wine.
particular chap's pretty much first time properly drinking, and I'm convinced he is actually a drunken master now, because he displayed all of the signs. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like,
the motherfucker
I couldn't.
was.
I was
He
like, I
could see
mean,
the
we were
numbers.
told.
I
we
mean,
were told not to give him any more alcohol, and I looked at him and I was like, "There's nothing I can do. If he can,
he's done.
if he can do that, there ain't no way I'm stopping him from drinking." Because
He's just stealing alcohol from drunker people. He's a genius.
he just no he there was somebody exceedingly drunk, and he was like, "I'm not just going to take it off him. I'm going to wait for a disaster to happen, then matrix reality for a second to in such a way that I can get more drunk." And everyone is just sat there watching, and there is 2 minutes of utter silence from the crowd, which is everyone from the party.
Well,
It's just sat there. Just one person has fallen flat on their face. The other one has just downed this alcohol, and he just sat there like, "What just happened?" And you just watch.
Just sort of like, how
You
has
watch.
this happened?
You
Have you
watch.
done that? Why are you on the floor? And then there's upset. Just still trying to stop him throwing paper into the fire. It's also an amazement.
It was. I was sat there between the fire and the dripping over and the man downing his drink. There is officially, I sanction it with the Astral Fisher, there is too much going on stamp, that I was just like, I need to stop.
Too busy for me.
I'm clocking
I need
out
to.
here.
I'm clocking out here. And I sat there whilst this conversation happened where all of his family started making fun of him about how drunk he was. And I was just checked out like, I'm just going to let this happen.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just
Not
gonna
my
be-
jurisdiction. I'll just
Fuck
watch.
the fire. Fuck the fire.
Neck back this bit, and I'll have a good time. Free entertainment.
This is
These
perfect
was like-
entertainment.
It was. I watched. I watched our
The-
friend get up, and I turned to her and I was like, "You're gonna need more alcohol now." And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Get me a cider." And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I'm watching what is about to happen."
Billy, don't you understand?
And she,
what just happened?
You in-
Part of that, you have-
look, you invited me here for a show, okay? And I don't care if it's your birthday. I've paid my train ticket. I have gone through all of them. I have been polite. I have been nothing but polite to your family. I have obeyed by the social conventions of this event. I am now incredibly drunk, and I am not I'm not part of the fire. I am, for the most chaotic person that you know, the least chaotic at the moment. And I am just happy to sit here and relax. But I will start causing mayhem if you don't get me that cider. And that was unspoken. But we all know that it was communicated effortlessly as two opened Copperbergs appeared in my hands. And I was like, I don't need to move from the seat until we're leaving. Now,
It was literally.
I'm just
it
like,
was literally.
is there a lull in
it
the
was an- it was-
conversation? Let's go watch the fire. The fire's getting
was
boring
the-
now. Back to them bullying the child.
It was the type of night. It was the type of night where you could perfectly summarize it with when you ask someone to go get you a drink, they bring back two. That was exactly the sort of vibe. It was absolute unadulterated British alcoholism.
I had one guy turn to me and be like, I do carpentry. And I was like, fascinating. Tell me more. And he was like, oh, I'll tell you more. Yeah, he's so drunk, isn't he? I'm like, yeah! This is the one time me and a carpenter have something in common to talk about, because we're both there. This 40, 50-something-year-old man and me sat right next to him just being like, this is crazy.
Isn't
and
this fun?
thoroughly entertaining, isn't it?
This whole situation. I do
It's
remember also
as
being
as
sat
as a
just
friend,
sort of
I could say this is very
constantly
entertaining, and he's just like,
with
you were,
the child.
you were over the opposite, because we had Jacko W
I
and
don't know how you remember this as
physically
well.
Chaos Boy, and then we
very little
had
memory of
mentally Chaos Boy in the pot over there next to each other. The girlfriend of physical Chaos Boy is currently dealing with Birthday Girl, and I'm sat next to this carpenter, and we're just chatting, just like I'm just like, this is amazing. This is the most entertaining thing I ever watched. And he's like, I don't think I can say that. Just like nodding, like, yeah, I know. You can't say it because I all know you, but I know you agree with me. And he was like, I can't say it, but I'm giving you the eyes of someone who's like, yeah, this was worth coming out to see. You know, I am the uncle. I didn't need to be here, but I want to be here because it's a big event. But I can tell you now, when I arrived here, I didn't expect to be having such a great time. And you know, it's one of those things of like, I am not a laddie guy, really. But if you get me drunk, I give off a very fierce aura of laddishness. to the extent that there was my housemate had this big group of friends in American studies and a load of other different degrees. And whenever we'd go out preeing, like I'd be invited over, and it would always be my husband could be like, they want my lad housemate to come over. And I was like, that's me. And it was like, are you coming over? And I was like, I can't go there sober because the illusion's ruined. I have known them for 3 years. They have only ever seen me drunk. And until I die, that is the only way they will see me. Because I have this illusion. It was all after, like, because her future boyfriend, we went out on a night out, he was like, I don't know whether he likes me or not. And I was like, he has been at our fucking house for the last 3 weeks. And he has not left. It is very clear he is into you. And he was like, but he's not said anything. I was like, I can deal with this. And so we went to the not the O2 nightclub, the proper nightclub. And on our way back, and I was like, before we go further, my friend, I must take you aside for a man piss. And he was like, what is a man piss? I was like, we need a conversation, you and I.
It has to happen over a piss.
And one of his mentions like, can I come for them man piss? And I was like, all of the men are invited for the man piss.
Men are
like,
always invited on a man
I
piss.
turned to my housemate and I was like, you got to stay here. And it's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to ask him to ask you out.
You're getting fucked.
So we go have the man piss. And I am somebody who, I don't typically pee in front of people, but this night I was feeling particularly bold. So we're peeing.
You decided that this was what you were going to be.
Hands on his shoulder, and I turn and I say, "You like my housemate, don't you?" And she was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Cut the bullshit. I already know." And she was like, "Does she like me?" I was like, "She's fucking enamored, mate. Why do you think you're allowed into the house for 3 weeks?" And he was like, what do I do? It's like, ask her out, for the love of God. And he was like, do I have to build it up? I was like, no, just do it tomorrow. Just take her somewhere nice. Like, I know a restaurant, and be like, are you sure she's going to say it? I was like, she is going to say yes. And I never want her to come to me again about, does he like me or not? So you ask her out.
Oh, dear.
And we're not going to have an issue, because I have heard about this for like a month, and Freshers is about to start, and I don't want to be dealing with this through Freshers. I'd rather you two just get it. Just like, what if the registers lost? It doesn't matter. I've done my job. I've done what I was promised. And let's still together now. So, you know.
Damn.
This man slap right face. Idiots.
Oi, fucking do it.
A couple of days later, I went to go take my housemate some tea up, and she was in bed, and I was like, oh, do you want a cup of tea? And she was like, yeah. And then underneath the bedding, I just hear this voice like, oh, I love a tea too. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. I'll leave it at the door. Bye-bye. Just left it outside. I was just like, one of my housemates was just like, oh, I need to go talk to her. I was like,
Yeah.
they banging. You don't want to be in there. I didn't mince my words. She was just like, I really need to go in there. I was like, no, you're not going in now. I had when I first joined uni, I was like, I've never drunk before, but I'm gonna drink when I get to uni. And so I move in, meet my first housemate. Second, I was like, oh, my first housemate's moved in. Everyone moved in on the first night. And the second night, we were like, let's go out before freshers. And I was like, okay. And they never asked me whether I'd drunk before, because everyone just assumed I had. And for the entirety of freshers fortnight, I think I was in a state of perpetual drunkenness. I don't think I was sober for the whole of Fresh. It took me 2 hours to find a theatre society at Freshers because I was so hammered. I was just wandering around in circles like I can't find it. Because they all wore black. They were in like the shadowy corner of a room. So it was basically, it ended up that I went around a couple of times because I couldn't find radio or theatre, and I finally found radio because they changed their name from what it was on the website. And I was like, oh, do you know where theatre is? Like, oh, it's here. And I turn around and it's like a load of theatre people. And they're like, oh, is there a problem? And I was like, no. It's like, oh, just normally we grab people whilst they're walking by. I was like, no, I've been actively looking for you for 2 hours. They're like, what, you want to join? I was like, yeah, I've kind of looked up the entire society before I joined because I knew it was the one society I was going to be joining. Be like, oh, so do you know what? I was like, I know the intro night's on this night. I'll take a flyer, put my name down. I'll see you then. You don't need to convince me. I like theatre. I will be there. And from that day on, I got known as the enthusiastic fresher for that was my name in theatre for a whole year, was the enthusiastic fresher. Because whenever an event would happen, I'd turn up, which was pretty much the whole of theatre. Whenever a theatre event happened for my whole time,
it was the whole of you.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like, oh, I don't think we've met. So he's from theatre. Ah, yes, I do know you. I've met you once before. My identity in theatre was very much interlinked to the extent that people would know my society more than my course. But people would be like, oh, I don't know what course to do. Archaeology would be like, oh, makes sense.
You seem like a dinosaur. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Yeah, it's like, I think like your girlfriend and such, they were going to join theatre when they joined uni because we joined the same time, but they didn't, and they joined a year after, which is crazy because it means that I might have known all of you a year earlier.
Yeah.
If things were a little bit different.
Bloody idiot didn't join.
We were in our own bubble of 20 people.
Bizarre.
There is a
weird little world.
There is a very
Really
good
was.
chance with the amount of times I went out that
Oh yeah, this is also, I always think of this.
we
So strange.
certainly
back to back in the club.
I feel like
In the queue,
the thing
literally,
is
like,
with the
next to each
pot
other,
and
yeah.
the other lads, I would normally say I wouldn't have like your group prior to Long Hair McGee looks like such a stereotypical group of people.
I look the exact. I have the short
you
hair.
look like such
you
a
wouldn't have noticed me.
stereotypical. You have the guy with glasses and the cool hair. You have the curly haired one, and then you have and then you have like the normal looking one. But nowadays you've all evolved past that point from first year. But like, because it's like, from my perspective, it would have been like I would have been with like long hair, tall, lanky, like. The theatre lot were very distinct in how they looked.
They were, yeah. Definitely.
So it would have been like there was one night where I don't know whether you guys ever went to the Harry Potter refreshes.
If I did,
in
I
first
wasn't
year.
conscious it was Harry Potter.
If you went there, there weren't many people there. I started a conga line, which the entire row 2 joined in on. And there were pictures of me shirtless with a wand in my mouth.
That was one of those nights we decided we're done with the O2. We wanted. It was one of the first.
Yeah.
My bad.
I just remember that night because it was the following year somebody joined theatre and they were like, I recognise you from somewhere. And like a couple of weeks later, it was like, remember that time in first year where like I got so drunk on tequila that I started the conga line shirtless with a wizard's wand in my mouth that I didn't bring to the O2. And somebody just goes, that's who you are. I know you. You're that boy. Now, this was after I went to a swing dance event. And no, this was the year later on that anniversary, went to another event like that. And I carried a boy who strained their foot at swing dance. We were meeting everyone in the O2. And I was like, are you sure you want to go? Yeah. So we turned up at like 11 p.m. and he was like hobbling around. So I sat him down somewhere. And it was somebody came in, met up with us because we're already there because blah blah's hurt their foot, so they're just resting in the O2 because I was like, he's adamant he wants to go out, so he's out. And somebody came out. Some people started trickling in that we knew, and the first person came in, and there was a big group of people playing Duck Duck Goose, and I was looking after the lads, and they were like, "Oh, I've just got to come back." And they joined the Duck Duck Goose, got Goose, went around once going duck, 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 and then came back to us. It's like, I've fooled them all. I haven't called anyone Goose. And I turned around, there's this big group of people just waiting. Somebody to be called Goose. I was like, you can't do that to them.
Doesn't make any sense.
They were there for like 10 minutes until they realised, oh, whoever did that is just gone. And they're all too drunk to remember who it was.
Oh god!
Now,
right,
Should we do a
before what really do you care? Fourth Valheim boss is you.
It's you, Mira. We can relate to Mira. That's all good.
It's all right in the world. I'm going to put in the title of this. I'm going to put for the final 4 Valheim bosses. Fourth one will surprise you, and they're going to have to watch 3 straight hours of us just chatting about fucking. I mean, interesting stories, but like not. It's not exactly the Joe Rogan, is it? It's not. It's not like I went to Somalia and I took over a fucking pirate ship. That
No,
I'm depressed now.
Not
Back
most
to the show.
People, but stories that we've had.
Those are the only things, and they are all always without exception uni stories, which I appreciate is to some inherently cringeworthy, and I get it, but also it's not my fault I haven't had any other life experiences. Sheltered little chap,
I don't know. My school experience. My school experiences aren't.
I scared a deer to death once. Is that fun?
I don't know.
Wasn't intentional.
I don't think I have any
know?
fun stories. I just have parading a dead pig's head around a school campus, giving somebody 2 fish in a tank, and then nobody claiming it was theirs. So they just
Tory
gave it to
thing
them.
you've ever said. I think, Chris.
And also being
You
given.
Did you fuck it as well? Or
No, we
I'll be
didn't.
honest.
Fuck it.
We're
not David Cameron.
Not out the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, someone
Nah.
fucked it.
Yeah.
Someone fucked it.
Christ.
Defo.
My favourite one was just
My stories all from a night out.
me and my
Yeah.
It was a house party.
yeah.
Or it was uni. Just a night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting beyond that.
I went to a
I
house.
am
I went to a
just
house
such-
party for a play, and I ended up watching 8 out of 10 Cats. And halfway through, I was like, I should check on everyone else at the party because just me and my mate drinking and watching 8 out of 10 Cats. We went around. There were multiple people unconscious in a hot tub. People throwing up in the top. We just looked around. Somebody was asleep on the pool table, and it was the host of the party. Just looked around now, and we were just like, "This is too depressing. Let's get back to 8 out of 10."
Yeah, that's fucking sad, man. That's just-
It's like at my prom, it was like set up by people in my year, and they were like, on the table was like all of the guys and girls got like moisturizer as our gift, and we were all just there like, wow, no. I remember at the after party for my prom, I just had somebody sat next to me for an hour and a half talking about how their liver was failing, they couldn't drink anymore, and I was like, "You have absolutely eliminated me having any fun tonight." This man has drained any. To be fair, it wasn't. It wasn't a very.
That is snookered.
It was. I have to say that. Similar to most schools, social groups kind of started to implode very much near the like in the final year.
Like going at like housewives and things. So
People just started to implode. Yeah, it's just because like the people that I was like talking to at the end of school was just such an eclectic bunch of people that we just like sat down and chatted because we were just like doesn't matter anymore. It was people who me and my mates were just like we're doing a play, like what's it about? And we're just like the two deputy headmasters want to make fun illegal. Also, one of them fucks a bear at some point, which we did have to take out after the first night.
Oh, only after the first night.
None of them saw. There was no dress rehearsal to see. We planned this.
Oh Jesus!
But it was as I discussed with the cast when we first did it, because it was me and two of my mates, and we just sat people down and we were like, the trick of this entire process is to get close to the line, but never over it. And to be fair, I think we did the best job at that in my year. We definitely had the least things cut out of the play. Yeah,
I've been going for 3.5 hours, or 3 hours 10, and I don't want to edit any more podcasts.
Okay.
So finish the fucking show.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening in. We might continue this conversation, but we don't have to skirt around details that we can't show on the internet.
Which you've shoddily done so far.
yeah,
Oh, no worries.
at one point.
I have to bleep a lot of things.
Yeah. I have treaded around the bits that I care about.
Tried.
The bits that I've just let slip, I don't care too much about. And they can be bleeped anyway.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Who have I been? If I was one of them, I'd be the sock puppet thing with...
Question.
That wasn't what I meant.
What?
Who are you?
Who
am I? I'm Astral fucking Fisher.
There we go.
I was so sure he was going to leave that blank.
And I will eat
Where
you.
does one find you?
No, Matt. Don't bother.
Don't bother.
If he hasn't got the energy.
Look.
Don't worry about it.
If you have watched this episode,
yeah, if you're
and
here,
you have gotten to this point, you will probably watch another episode or have looked at the channel, and you can find my Twitch. I don't need to say it.
I know you're a bot.
It doesn't matter.
No one. You're a bot, right? Shut up, bot.
Moo.
Go do a capture.
Where can they find you, the pot?
Not a lot of places, to be honest.
Nah, he's hiding.
Kitchen cupboards.
Sometimes.
B&Q. Is that gardens or?
And Jack.
That's home base.
Oh.
Thank you. Wait.
You can find me in the description below. And
Bye.
because I'm tired. And that's it. Yeah, the end. You fuckers.
Bye.
You thought there was going to be a 4th Valheim boss, you fucking idiots.